Welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Giant Overreaction. I am your host, Awthentik, man. We coming off a major W right now, man. Salute to the Giants Nation in the building bright and early on a Monday morning here, or Monday afternoon. Kind of my morning, man, because y'all know when the Giants get a W, man, I sleep like a baby. Definitely got some great rest last night, man. The Giants end up taking that victory 24-20 over the Ravens in spectacular comeback fashion, man. I'm smiling ear to ear again for a second week in a row. I was 7 days smoking the Packers pack, and now I'm going to have another 7 days to smoke some Ravens pack. This is amazing, and y'all know I'm from Maryland, born and raised in the DMV, so this is a major W for us. Let's go over some of these statistics real quick from Giants.com, some of these records that were broken in this game, and then we'll get to some shout-outs and get right to these overreactions, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. I tweeted out something yesterday. I was just saying salute to every Giants fan in capital letters, man, because this is a big victory for us, and I'm starting to feel like, man, we on our way. We're definitely witnessing a special team here, and I've been a part of seeing some of these special teams throughout our history make it to the Super Bowl and make it very far in this league, and this team looks to be another one of those teams. But let's get to talking about this 3-game victory streak that the Giants are on right now. The Giants improved to 5-1 on the year. They have exceeded their 2021 victory total with 11 games remaining. We got 11 more games to turn it up on this league one time, man. This is the best record through 6 games since they were 5-1 in 2009. Each of the 5 victories have come against opponents outside of the NFC East. And this one really was a shocker for me. This is the first season in which the Giants have won their first 5 non-divisional games ever. That has never happened. So we are definitely on the up and up. I'm very happy for this New York Giants team right now, man. It was the first 10-point comeback in the final 7 minutes in a fourth quarter game since 2011 versus Dallas. The Giants trailed in this game with 7 minutes remaining, 20-10, and it's the first time they overcome a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter since we defeated New Orleans. And man, we've been hanging our hat, especially us Daniel Jones fans. We've been hanging our hat on that Saints game. We got another game to hang our hat on. Daniel Jones had 2 touchdowns in this game and showed up real big in the fourth quarter. Giants, man, you know, this is just an amazing accomplishment for a team like this. Beating the Packers was one thing. And shout out to my homie, No Mets, No Nets, No Jets. I saw him saying, in reaction to the title, that this was supposed to be a question 2 weeks ago. But for me, man, this just solidifies it. 2 weeks in a row, you get the New York Giants beating 2 former MVPs, first of all, and 2 teams that we expect to be in the playoffs on both sides, AFC and the NFC. And the Giants take them out, man. So for me, this was just confirmation. Last week, the week before that, I was kind of like, kind of pumping the brakes a little bit, wondering how much might be fluke, how much of this was the real deal. And today, I can say it without a doubt, the Giants are definitely the real deal, sitting at 5-1 right now. Brian Dable's got this team just moving forward, man, and taking pieces that we saw from the Dave Gettleman and the Joe Judge regime that we thought were a bit of a, maybe a bust, or players that we thought weren't showing up. And Brian Dable is finding a way. Wink Martindale is finding a way to put these players in position to win games right now for the New York Giants. I'm completely ecstatic about it. I know y'all are hype. So let's get to some shout-outs real quick, from the community, man, and from the fam one time before we get moving on this show. The instrumental I was just playing is one that I just cooked up just a few days ago. I thought it was extremely appropriate because you a fool right now if you sleeping on them New York Giants, man, because we are just proving people wrong. We're proving fans wrong. They proving me wrong. I'm just so surprised that we're sitting here. I was in disbelief when the clock hit 0 and we actually had to win. Throughout that fourth quarter, I was trying to convince myself, man, don't get reeled in too far, right? We're down by 10 points. I thought that if the Ravens could have pushed that to a 17-point lead, that game was going to be over. They kept it close. They hung in this game. I kept tweeting out, man, the Giants are hanging, man. The Giants are hanging in there. And that's exactly what they did. And we've been a fourth-quarter team all year long, man, and the Ravens have not been a fourth-quarter team. In the second half, the Ravens have kind of struggled. And it showed in this game, man. It's almost like a storybook ending. Like, I like to go into the game and be a little bit optimistic, like y'all know I like to say here, but also I like to be realistic at the same time. And I felt like, what were the chances that the Ravens were going to collapse in the fourth quarter again? I just thought that, the likelihood of that happening, it just couldn't be high. And that's exactly what happened in this game, man. I'm super excited on a Monday. We get to get a whole nother week. And I know the Beard is very ecstatic as well, too, as Washington Commanders snuck out with the win on Thursday. We got all wins across the NFC East except them Dallas Cowboys. I'll take that all day long. I know a lot of people were rooting for the Eagles to lose last night so that we could all be sitting at 5-1. I'd prefer the Dallas Cowboys to lose. So for me, it's like I can't – there's no way I'm not going to root for the Dallas Cowboys to lose a game. So for me, it was a very enjoyable experience on Sunday night. This was, playing early in the day makes football seem a lot longer, and I do like those 1 o'clock windows, and I like the, the early window in London as well. The 9:30 window was amazing to be able to watch that game. It almost felt like that game was like 4 weeks ago now, but now the Giants are sitting at 5-1. I know the fans are super excited, man. I know my family in this chat is super excited. So let's put another drop back on this instrumental one time and get to this chat and get some shout outs going, and then we'll get into this game, y'all. All right, man. So bright and early, man. Simon Coleman. He beat you, J-Mo. He beat you in the building. That could be an overreaction right there, Simon. He said, we the champions of the world, Craig. You know what it is, man. Shout out to Simon in the building early. He beat you, Jameson. Shout out to Jameson one time in the building as well. My man, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. This was a question asked 2 weeks ago. I explained that a little bit for you, man. He says LFGNYG. That, man, I might have to get a shirt that says that right there. That's fire. Shout out to J. Jean one time in the building. Another Sunday, another Giants dub. The worst 2-0 team in history is now 5-1. It feels great, J. Jean. Good to see you in the building one time. And he also, J. Jean sends a congratulations to the Beard one time and them Washington comrades, or the Commodores, as a lot of people like to call them right now. But shout out to them as well. My man Stan is in the building one time. Stan said, what up, family? Can't stay and watch the live. Got something at work, but I'm taking the O on everything Jones related in terms him coming back after the season, and a U on everything that implies he isn't. Y'all know Stan is one of the I don't call people haters, because if you're a fan of the fan base, there's no way you could be a hater. But Stan is not in big support of Daniel Jones coming back next year, I'll say. I always make this comparison. I say if Daniel Jones is on his own 10-yard line in Giants territory, then Stan is all the way on the other side of the field in the stands in the end zone one time. But shout out to Stan for showing up and showing out early and, sending, his best wishes towards our victory here, man. This was a major win here. He says, enjoy y'all day, family. Gotta run. And Sank Zappa's in the building one time. He said, I had to rewatch the Giants game to make sure it really happened. Thought it might be some kind of weird fever dream or something. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. So I had the game downstairs in my studio on stream, so it was a little bit behind the regular broadcast. But I'm here in Washington, D.C., and in D.C. you get all Ravens games on CBS. So upstairs, my girl was streaming the game on CBS. And in pivotal moments, I kept kind of sneaking back upstairs to kind of get, the real-time play-by-play kind of vibes. Whole fourth quarter, I pretty much had to stay up there and watch the rest of that game, man. I was on edge. Couldn't breathe, man. This was the most nervous I've been since dated back to maybe 2011, man, in the Super Bowl run. I was extremely nervous for this game because it wasn't, it wasn't factoring in that we might lose the game. It was factoring in the chances of actually winning this game and where the Giants could be headed if we got this victory. 2 powerhouse wins, man. I mean, if anybody doubted us after that Packers game, you see this against the Ravens team here and we get this victory. Every team in the NFL needs to be put on notice right now. The New York Giants can beat you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the Chiefs. I don't care if you're the Bills. I don't care if you're Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I don't care what team you are. And you might call this an overreaction. The Giants, with this set of skills and this defense that we are bringing into games with Wink Martindale, we have a chance to win any game. So shout out to Sank, man. I had to go back and kind of relive the game too because I was so on edge. There were key moments that I missed. So I went back and watched all the highlights again and tried to watch as much as I could, man, to kind of just refamiliarize myself with what happened in the game, man, because I always tell y'all this, man, I'm a fan. Don't lump me in with anybody that you consider to be an analyst. Where I get busy is on these beats and in this studio, okay? I'm not some analyst on TV or nothing like that. That's why it is the best television show not on TV, and it'll probably never be on TV because we keep it funky over here. We keep it real over here at Awthentik in the Beard. And man, that's just what it is. As a fan, I was watching the game. I'm just enjoying it and going through the roller coaster of emotions just like anybody else was. So big shout out to Sank, man. Like, good to see you in the building, bro. And I totally feel you. I'm going to go in and relive this game. I haven't been watching a lot of 22-man footage this year, and this is one of those games that I really want to see. I want to see what was happening on the back end of this defense when we were making some of those game-clinching plays down late in the fourth quarter there, man. So shout out to you, Sank, one more time. Shout out to the homie Brian one time in the building. I know he's ecstatic. I ain't even read it. I knew that this chat was gonna say Daniel Jones in it. Hey, homie, that Daniel Jones fathead needs to go up on your bedroom ceiling. My girl would definitely not appreciate Daniel Jones on our bedroom ceiling. You know it goes down in the bedroom. Definitely cannot have Daniel Jones up there on the ceiling. But you know what I did bring today? So I put Daniel Jones on the thumbnail. I thought that was only right. But I also took this off the shelf, man. This is going to get a lot more valuable. This is going to get a lot more valuable if Daniel Jones continues to play the way that he's been playing. Shout out to the Beard who got this for me, man. This is an official Awthentik helmet right here. And late last season, I was starting to think, man, is this autograph going to waste, man? You know? And now, man, I feel extremely confident right now. Daniel Jones is playing some great football. Y'all know for me, the major thing with Daniel Jones has been consistency. And to see him go consistent 2 games back-to-back like that, I think this is him on his trajectory of showing people, hey, he's starting to get comfortable in this league. He's starting to get comfortable within this system. And, yeah, his stock is going up. And we're going to talk about it in some of these overreactions. I definitely got some Daniel Jones overreactions. I got some overreactions for the rest of these players as well. And this coaching staff. I mean, it was difficult to come up with overreactions today because everybody seemed to be pretty even keel across the board, man. But shout out to Brian, man, has always been showing a lot of support, a lot of love for this channel. And a reason why I respect Brian is because me and him disagree on a lot of takes. You know, Brian is a huge Daniel Jones supporter, and he might be right when all said and done when he's been saying Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. But we've disagreed a lot because I was heavy on Daniel Jones in the beginning. One of the guys that was saying Daniel Jones could be better than all these quarterbacks, Josh Allen, I was saying, a bunch of other young quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, a bunch, which he is better than Baker now, but Josh Allen was one that a lot of people like to be like, hey, Awthentik, you said this about Josh Allen. Well, if Daniel Jones can continue to play, there's a lot of football left for this kid. Whether it's going to be in New York is going to be the big question mark next year, but I think that question is starting to, you know, come with a lot of answers now with the way that Daniel Jones has been playing. So shout out to Brian one time in the building. The Beard is in the building one time. Shout out to Beard one time in the building. Let's bring this back, too, because, I mean, we got to keep the vibes up. Y'all know we got to keep the vibes up. I know everybody is ecstatic on Monday morning right now, man, with this Giants victory. My man, the Beard, says, Awthentik and the Beard. I don't know what that says. Victory week. Double victory week. Okay, yeah, little typo there. Let's go with a couple of O's with the pun intended for the Giant overreaction. Shout out to the Beard, and he did correct that. I was trying to make it look like dude was remedial and whatnot. Shout out to the Beard one time in the building, yo. You know what it is, man. Big victory over there. Good looks on help me get set up for the stream as well, too. Let me pull this up, too, as well while I got that going. Yeah, man, and big shout out to Nick DeWick. I see Nick DeWick is in the building one time as well, too, man. He says, let's go. Shout out Nick DeWick one time in the building. Big supporter, man. Got me that Odell Beckham jersey that's back there in the cut one time. Shout out David in the building one time, too. He says the Giants are 5-1, you mother suckers. He says, let's effing go. A lot of curse words today on a Monday morning. I feel you, man. It's victory week, man. We 5-1. It's lit one time. And Brian says, congrats to the Beard one time. Nick P is in the building too, man. Shout out Nick P, man. Salute to you, man, for pulling up and rocking with us one time on this victory week. Who else we got? We got Kai in the building, man. Them Cowboys took a tough L yesterday, man. Y'all got back in that game, though. I turned it off a little bit late in the fourth quarter, but I know y'all cut it to, I think it was down 20-10 or something in that game, man. And we know 20-10 is not that big of a deficit, man. You saw the Giants come back from 20-10 in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left in the game. But definitely appreciate you pulling up, man. Y'all fall to 4-2 on the year. Y'all still in the mix, man. It's not that bad for y'all, especially with a backup quarterback. I think this loss had to come sooner or later for y'all, man. But shout out to Kai one time in the building, rocking with us, man, and helping us celebrate this victory, man. That's gutsy from you, fam. And Chris Peace is in the building one time too with the biceps. for Awthentik and the beard, man. Shout out to you, Chris. Chris been showing a lot of love on Twitter, retweeting a lot of our links. Definitely appreciate you pulling up. We got 80 in the building. I'm only about 10 minutes into this, man. We got 80 in the building. Crypto Moves is pulling up one time. Yo, Awthentik, hope you enjoyed the game, man. There were some dark moments in the past few years. Definitely, man. The past few years have been tough, man. And I tweeted this out yesterday, too. I said, salute to all the youth, man. Like the young fans who never got to see the New York Giants winning. Like they're finally getting to see some consistent winning, man. So I'm extremely happy for y'all, man, because, you know, the OGs like myself, the 2 Super Bowls, bro, I could hang my hat on the 2 Super Bowls for the rest of my existence and be good. But to see y'all getting some winning, man, and y'all being here live in the flesh to get to see Brian Daboll and these New York Giants do it, that is amazing, man. So shout out to the youth, man, and shout out to Crypto Moves one time in the building, too. Primetime is in the building. He says salute one time. Lou Mateo been in the building consistently these past couple of weeks. Got to show a lot of love to Lou Mateo one time. He says, think fast, run fast. G-Man, let's go. Damn right. Sabrina is in the building, too. Shout out, Sabrina. Appreciate you pulling up. Alpha Mason, this is a new face. Salute Awthentik in the beard. Nah, salute to you, Alpha Mason. We appreciate you pulling up bright and early on this Monday afternoon, man, rocking with us. This show is gonna be one for the record books, man. Like, I'm just on cloud 9 right now, man, with these New York Giants. I can't even explain it. Like, if I had to go live yesterday, it would have been a complete shit show on the air because, like, yo, I would have been losing my mind. I saw Entertainer and I saw Bad Dog doing spins, cartwheels, and all kind of stuff on their stream, man. Shout out to them for all the work they continue to do for the Giants community as well. Man, we got so many people in the building, yo. Like, yo, shout out to all of y'all. My day ones, Afghan is in the building. I'm going to try to run through this as fast as I can so we can get to this football one time. Jacob is in the building. Michael Knight, in the building one time. Shout out to Michael Knight and Currency. If y'all know that record, go find that Currency record. Michael Knight, it's a fire record. Who else we got in the building? I ain't get to shout out. John Kim, day one in the building, man. Is Robbie going to the Cards? Wow, I ain't see that information yet, but I did see the whole debacle on the sidelines and whatnot, and they sent them, to the locker room and whatnot. But shout out to you, John Kim, for pulling up bright and early, man. Bill Justice is in the building one time. Billy Justice is in the building. Alvaro is in the building one time, man. Keyshawn Springer is in the building one time, which reminds me of the homie from Twitter. I don't know his exact Twitter name, but it's got Springer in his name. Hit me up on the Apex Legends yesterday. We got to run a couple of games on Apex Legends, and the first game was a win, man. So we winning across the board, man. The Giants get the dub, and then we get the win on Apex. So shout out to Keyshawn one time. That reminded me of the homie Springer from Twitter. Kareem Yee is in the building. Shout out to Kareem Yee. You damn right. Big Blue is definitely back. We are in the building one time, man. Samuel is in the building. Says, unfortunately, I had to work yesterday. What should someone who didn't get to watch yesterday's game know about it? Resilience, defense, no quit. Our quarterback is playing good football. He's doing just enough to get W's for this team, making no mistakes across the board, no interceptions. Sound. In the moment. Man, this Giants team, like, gritty, hard-hitting. This was a solid game, man. Like, you knew the Giants were not out of this game all the way through and through. You knew it. You just knew it. I knew that if the Ravens let us hang around and they didn't push that to a 3-score lead in the third quarter, that the Giants were going to have a shot in the fourth. And my estimation on Thursday's preview show was the Giants were going to hang for 3 quarters, and I thought that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens were going to make sure that they could seal the deal in the fourth quarter because of what has been happening to them throughout this season with the fourth quarter collapses that they've had now in about 3 or 4 games. Miami comes to mind, Buffalo comes to mind, and this New York Giants game comes to mind. So for those that missed the game, like Samuel, that's what I would say, man. Resilience, man. That's been the story of the New York Giants throughout the season, man. But shout out to you for pulling up and rocking with me, man, on this Monday afternoon one time, man. Rozelle is in the building, too. John B is in the building. Shout out to Pac. We smoking that Pac today, man. Shout out to John B for pulling up one time. Patty Giant is in the building. We got so many people. Brian Howard, who was asking about the show yesterday. I appreciate that, fam. Pulled up in the building as well. Who else we got? Y'all got till about the end of this instrumental, and I'm going to shout all y'all out because this is a big win for the New York Giants, man. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling, man. This chat is going crazy. NY Chris is in the building one time. Rio, shout out to them Washington Commanders getting that W, Rio. If y'all don't know, Rio's got a great Washington channel over there on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to him. He says, y'all are gritty and well-coached. DJ is playing mistake-free football. That's facts. Appreciate you pulling up, Rio. Ben Dawson is in the building. Big salute to my guy, Ben Dawson, in the building. Been rocking with me, helping me out with a couple of arguments on Twitter too, man. I appreciate you, fam. Definitely appreciate you pulling up. Max Webster's in the building. Shout out to you, man, for the $4.99 super chat as well. He says, I got no reaction for you. Early this preseason, you were saying Tyrod over DJ. You still stand on that hill, over, under, or push? So I wasn't necessarily saying Tyrod over DJ, but I thought that Tyrod could come in and do the exact same things that DJ could do. And if it was going to be a running style offense, I thought Tyrod was better suited for that. The one thing I will say about Tyrod that's completely had me completely flip my stance on anything Tyrod Taylor driven, he is too injury prone. We thought Daniel Jones was injury prone. Every time Tyrod Taylor has gotten in the game this year, he has gotten hurt. So for me, Tyrod has been, I don't like to talk about players being injury prone too much, but Tyrod in limited action has definitely been injury prone this year. Daniel Jones is showing y'all he's playing lights out football right now. It was no question going into the year that Daniel Jones had the better arm, and Daniel Jones does what he has to do with his legs. I thought, they were going to rely on Daniel Jones for his legs after the first 3 games. I thought we were going to just see that a lot of running, a lot of boot, a lot of RPO, a lot of read option. Instead, we're seeing Daniel Jones now back-to-back weeks beat teams with his arm. Those are things that Tyrod Taylor cannot do. But shout out to Max Webster for the $4.99 super chat, and appreciate you being in the building one time. Josh Cologne is in the building. Corey Lewis is in the building. I'm going to scroll down. Paul Pagan is in the building. Giants fans are ecstatic on this Monday afternoon right now. We just breached that 100 mark. We got 100 in the building. So let's scroll down here, man. Let me just make sure we don't got no more super chats to make sure I don't miss nobody. And we'll get into this game, man. I mean, I'm speechless in a way, man. Like, wow. Moment of silence for them Ravens. We about to smoke this pack on a Monday afternoon. Y'all know what it is. All right, let's talk about this game and these players, man. Shout out to Jukes one time. We'll take care of this real quick. Shout out to Jukes BSG one time for that $2 super chat. He says, men lie, women lie, 5 and 1 don't respect this pimping. Yeah, man, I got the baby powder ready right here. They better respect this pimping, or my man Tudo, he got them backhanded slaps for y'all one time. But shout out to Jukes one time pulling up in the building with that $2 super chat. That goes an extremely long way on this channel, man. Y'all already know we trying to raise the bar every year. Every year, if you've been rocking with Awthentik and the Beard since day one, every year we have upped the ante on the production, on our takes, on our how deep diving we're going into these games. All we trying to do is raise the bar and build a better community over here, a realistic community at that. That's one thing I like to harp on, y'all. I mean, I didn't make up the name Awthentik. Somebody gave me that name that I was making music with, because that's just the kind of character I've always been. I like to just be very transparent, very real, and just, not try to avoid the topics that a lot of people might try to avoid to try to get more clicks. Like my man Chaz French said, y'all in it for likes, we in it for life. So shout out to Jukes one time for that $2 super chat. Just wanted to, reiterate that goes an extremely long way. All right. So let's talk about these players real quick, talk about some of these statistics, break down this game a little bit, and then we're going to go into, I got 3 overreactions, possibly a 4th that I might bring up that we used last show. I want to kind of revisit it and see where y'all are at on this one. But let's talk about the man of the hour for real, the man who was on the thumbnail. I hope y'all saw that thumbnail, man. That thumbnail had me cracking up. And the man whose value is going up, man, and this helmet over here is starting to be worth a lot more money. And not that I'm going to sell it because it's an official New York Giants helmet, but let's get into it and talk about that man, Daniel Jones. Danny Diamond Jones. Y'all better get rid of all them jokes y'all had, the dollar store jokes, the nickels jokes, all of that. Throw it out the window. Daniel Jones completed 19 of 27 passes. That's 70% for 173 yards and 2 touchdown passes. He had one to Wan'Dale Robinson and the other to Daniel Bellinger. It is the 3rd game this season in which Jones has completed over 70% of his passes. He did that against the Tennessee Titans, and he did that against the Green Bay Packers, both #1 seeds dating back to last season. He had only 3 such games in his first 3 seasons where he was over 70%. If that don't speak to this damn coaching staff, I don't know what else does. Daniel Jones has 3 games now of over 70% completion percentage. He only had 3 before that in his entire career. The Baltimore Ravens entered this game tied for the NFL lead with 8 interceptions and 11 takeaways. Jones did not throw an interception for the 3rd straight game. So we got to reiterate this. Jones is taking care of the ball, man. This dude is playing mistake-free football. And the big difference for me with Daniel Jones, when you need that game-winning play or that game-winning vibe or that game-winning drive, Daniel Jones is showing up and showing out. A lot of the naysayers now got to stay quiet. Now, I'm not a naysayer in Daniel Jones. It's all on the books, man. The history is written on Awthentik and the Beard YouTube. You could go back and look at every show. You go back to the first episode of Awthentik and the Beard, me talking about the hog mollies and all that, right? And then you can go back to 2019 and look at my takes on Daniel Jones. I always thought he had the skill set to do this. It was between the ears is what I questioned. And Daniel Jones, the first 3 seasons, he gave us a lot of reasons to question that. Now, the beginning of 2021, Daniel Jones started the year with 3 straight games with a passer rating over 90. And I was starting to be like, is he coming around the corner? But the offensive output was never enough. Now we're looking at a new coach, new regime, new philosophy, new scheme. And Daniel Jones is excelling in this scheme, man. He's utilizing his legs, which he didn't have to do in this game. And when it comes time to do it with his arm, the man is doing it. So I got to send a big shout out to Daniel Jones because, yo, he's proven people wrong. People went into this year, some people completely wrote him off completely. I see it on Twitter all the time. Daniel Jones can do no right to change people's opinions, but I think he's doing everything in his power now. And we're not talking about a guy who has, extreme talent at the wide receiver position, whether it's healthy or not healthy. He does not have the guys out there where you look at him and you go, oh, man, that's a great wide receiver core right there, or that's even a serviceable wide receiver core. You got guys like Marcus Johnson going out here catching passes who I'd never heard of until maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, and guys like Wan'Dale Robinson who even in the draft, being drafted in the 2nd round, people were questioning his stock. All I do is try to use my eyes to assess things, and then after using my eyes, I try to use the facts that are presented to me. Now, with Wan'Dale Robinson, I just went and I looked at the tape. He looks like a guy who can make plays. Simple as that. And that's what he did in this game. Wan'Dale, he got his first touchdown of the year. Entertainer called it. He said one of his bold takes was going to be Wan'Dale Robinson getting in the end zone. And for me, I was thinking, like, that's really not a bold take because if you look at what was happening during minicamp and during preseason, Wan'Dale Robinson was the focal point of this offense, to be honest. I mean, we thought Kadarius Toney could come in here and do some things, but all that pre-snap motion and all that stuff that we saw the first week and in preseason, that's all because of Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson gets hurt, and you see a more, straightforward style type of offense for the next couple of games that relies on Saquon Barkley to, get the running game going, and then relied on Daniel Jones to not make mistakes and try to find ways to make his plays off of what Saquon Barkley is doing. But in this game, Daniel Jones just putting the team on his back. I mean, you saw it. Saquon Barkley had to go out of this game again with the shoulder injury for a couple of plays, and the offense never sputtered once, man. The offense just continues to do what it does, and this coaching staff is just finding ways late in games, and I'm not saying this was like some completely pretty game from Daniel Jones, like it just was all the way perfect, at the end of the day, 155 passing yards and 83 rushing yards total output from your offense. It's not all that great, it's decent. It's decent. It's not all that great, but it's good enough to win you games. And I saw, one of the overreactions that I had early on in the year was something that I had seen on Twitter, right? And somebody was saying, you're not going to be able to continuously win games with Daniel Jones putting up 185 yards or less. He only has over 200 yards in one game, and that was against the Packers. So if this formula continues to work like this, I don't know how far it can take us. Once you get into the playoffs, it's everyone 0-0. You don't know what things could happen. If Daniel Jones could just get hot and do what Eli did, I'm not one of those people that like to be like, comparing everything to the past. Shout out to Stan. Stan was in my inbox comparing something to the past, too. Stan's got this theory that this 2022 Giants team is exactly like the 2017 Buffalo Bills. Gave me a bunch of stats and whatnot that equated and, really proved that point as well. But I'm not one of the guys that was like, oh, Eli kind of was failing in his first 3 years. Let Daniel Jones fail in his first 3 years, and by the fourth year, watch, everything will come to fruition. The stuff about Andrew Thomas, Andrew Thomas, he struggled his first year too, and just give Evan Neal his time to struggle as well. It's going to turn out the exact same way. Or when Saquon Barkley blows out his knee, the saying is, oh, he's going to come back exactly like Adrian Peterson did. Saquon Barkley's a generational talent. Now, some of those things might happen. They might very well happen. But at the end of the day, I don't try to hang my hat on that, like, that history is going to repeat itself type thing, because I do look at these players and think, hey, each player is their own individual, right? And they have their own stories. I don't look at them like they're just a video game character and they just got to go out there and catch passes. Even though Mark Andrews was kind of that. Like, Mark Andrews plays football like a video game. This dude is making all the catches. I'm so surprised we were able to win this game with the kind of game that Mark Andrews got. But we'll get to that. But, I just think Daniel Jones is his own story. How many quarterbacks can we say play like this, for one, that really can throw it? Because most of the time you get a running quarterback that it takes the front seat to them throwing. Guys like Jalen Hurts, guys like Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen is probably the real, outlier in that, of a guy who can, like, really throw it and really run it. Even with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has some running capabilities, but nobody's hanging their hat on Patrick Mahomes' running capabilities. Daniel Jones is like this extremely even balance of being able to run the ball. I'm on record saying he's not very athletic. It's not like he has this extreme skill set of agility, right? The dude just runs in straight lines, and he's very, like, sneaky with it. The play action is very great. We saw that in the previous games. And in this game, Daniel Jones didn't have to use his legs. So when called upon to make the throws, he makes the throws. I know there was that scare late in the fourth quarter there when we're on the goal line after getting the turnover, and he throws the interception, comes back because of the holding penalty and whatnot. And it scared me too. I'm looking at it like, bro, like, you can't make those kind of throws. You could look at it two ways. Half glass full, half glass half empty. You could look at it like that, right? You could look at it like he got bailed out, or you could look at it like the holding is the reason why it wasn't a touchdown. So we come right back, we get the touchdown from Saquon Barkley. It doesn't matter, neither here nor there. So for me, Daniel Jones is doing everything he is supposed to be doing within this system. Brian Dable talked about it in the press conference. Quarterback got to do what you got to do when you implement a game plan. They implement a game plan from week to week to week. 1 week, it might be, hey, Daniel, we need you to boot. We need you to run. The other week, it might be, hey, we need you to run a little bit more read option. The other week, it might be, hey, we need you to drop back and pass the ball. We knew that the Ravens were going to come into this game and try to stop Saquon Barkley. They did a decent job of that. But Daniel Jones, big props on a Monday afternoon here on the Giant Overreaction. Ain't too much to overreact about with Daniel Jones. Seriously. I mean, the dude just went out there and handled business, man. Suit and tie vibes. Went to work, handled business. I cannot complain. I'm still waiting for that big Daniel Jones game. But if we got to win games like this where he never has a big 400-yard, 350-yard game, I do not care. Keep bringing those W's in. Giants Nation is going to be extremely happy. And let's talk about this next man one time. All right, man, let's talk about Saquon Barkley. And I did have the numbers on Daniel Jones. I didn't bring them up. We talked about him one time. So let me just show you all the numbers from Daniel Jones. 173 passing yards, 19 of 27, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a QBR of 68.3 on the day. So shout out to Daniel Jones one more time. But Saquon Barkley, man, if y'all been following me here on Awthentik in the Beard, I always talk about these gritty games where you commit to the run. And yeah, you're not popping the big open run. You're not getting the big play Saquon vibes, right? But you're just inching away and you're keeping defenses off balance. That's what a game like this right here does. 83 rushing yards on 22 carries. The yards per carry at 3.8, people will be like, whatever. I'm going to take that game all day. And the one touchdown, which was the go-ahead touchdown in this game. Saquon has been showing up, man, week in and week out. He increased his season total now to 616 yards, exceeding his rushing total from the entire 2021 season of 593. So we're looking at it took 6 games for Saquon Barkley to rush for more yards than he did in the entire 2021. So big shout out to Saquon, man. This is the second week in a row now that Barkley scored the game-winning touchdown. He had the game-winning touchdown last week in London against the Green Bay Packers as well. So big shout out to him as well. And we got to talk about the play, man, at the end of the game where The Giants get their second turnover in that fourth quarter, and we're driving down in the red zone here, and you could have scored, right? I saw a lot of people saying, I even saw Brandon Jacobs and Kid Blue get into a conversation where Brandon Jacobs was saying, hey, man, I would have had to go for the stats, man, especially in a contract year. I got to get me that touchdown. And Kid Blue was saying he didn't understand why you wouldn't just want to go up 2 scores there. And I'll tell you why. A lot of fans felt like this too, and a lot of analysts felt like the exact same way that Kid Blue felt previous to when it happened to the Cleveland Browns against the Jets just a couple of weeks ago. Nick Chubb had a shot there, man, to just kneel it out. He could have not scored the touchdown, and then you just drain the clock. Instead, you get the 2-score lead, and now you're giving the Jets the ball back. They go down, score a touchdown, kick an onside kick, get the ball back, end up scoring again, and end up winning that game. That is why you do not score that touchdown there. And I jokingly said in that same thread, because it was Kid Blue talking to Brandon Jacobs, I jokingly said in that thread, I said, Saquon Barkley learned that from Ahmad Bradshaw, because Bradshaw in the Super Bowl, he tried to go down, kind of had like a brain glitch there a little bit and just said, screw it, and just fell into the end zone. Now, don't forget, we gave Tom Brady a second chance, and I believe that's the Super Bowl that was against Tom Brady and when he had Randy Moss, and they tried a couple of deep heaves there, and we know Randy Moss can come up with those sometimes. So you don't want to be giving teams second opportunities. It was beautiful to see the New York Giants kneel it out, man, and just get into the victory formation to end that game. Now, this does end a streak for the New York Giants of 5 straight games with 100 yards on the ground. The Giants only rushed for 83 yards in this game. I'm not tripping off that. For me, I want to see more ugly games like this from Saquon Barkley. They're gritty, grind out type of games, and to me, they yield well for Daniel Jones and the rest of this passing attack, man. You can allow Daniel Jones to be able to go down the field and be able to do things with his arm. Now, we didn't get to see, you know, the boots and the quarterback runs that we are accustomed to seeing from Daniel Jones, but that's all good when you're seeing Daniel Jones making these pinpoint throws, man. The touchdown to Bellinger in that end zone, it's a tight window. You know, it looked like there was a little bit of confusion there on the routes as well, but Daniel Jones finds a way to get that ball in the end zone, man, and I couldn't be more happy, man. The Giants show up and show out in this game, and I want to bring a little bit of attention to the pass catchers as well, man. Wan'Dale Robinson, he looked pretty good in his debut here. I talked about this on the parlay on Sunday. I said, look, when you picking up players off the waiver wire or on fantasy players that are kind of under the radar, you got to get to them about a week early. So I told people on the parlay on Sunday, I said, this is the week that you go out there and you draft, or not that you draft, but that you scoop up Wan'Dale Robinson. Think about putting him on your bench. That's what I did this week. I still got the win. And, you know, by next week, he's going to be a pivotal part in this offense. But he showed up in this game, man. He had the 3 catches for 37 yards and the touchdown. He could have had another catch for another big gain of about 15. Daniel Jones was a little bit inaccurate on that throw, kind of hit Wan'Dale on the back shoulder. Wan'Dale jumped up, kind of tried to use his body to seal off the defender, almost made the catch. I think it's a catchable ball. In the NFL, you got to make that catch, to be honest. I think Daniel Jones put the throw, you know, where it was at least good enough to be able to, you know, make the catch. But Wan'Dale doesn't make the catch. And I think that's just chemistry. We're going to see more chemistry throughout the weeks, you know. He'll build more chemistry like he has with Daniel Bellinger, man. Daniel Bellinger, he's been balling out. And in this game, he had 5 receptions. He was our leading receiver on the day, 38 yards, 5 targets. That's what you love to see. And what that says to me, 5 receptions, 5 targets, is just proof that Brian Daboll is scheming this up, man. Him and Kafka are really putting these players in the best position. 7.6 yards per reception is not that much, but Daniel Bellinger is getting these little quick, little short routes in the flats, man, and he's being effective. Had the 1 touchdown in a tight window like I talked about, man. I love the difference in the productivity from the tight end position from what they were trying to do with Evan Ingram, which, you know, Evan Ingram, they were trying to kind of get a guy who could win matchups with linebackers, right? But we know now what we're seeing in the NFL is a lot more teams are starting to run nickel packages and dime packages to stop just that. And that style of tight end is not really that successful anymore, man. The guys at the top of the league are bigger tight ends who can block, the Mark Andrews, the Kelseys of the world, you know, the Kittles of the world, physical. And now we got one of our own. Daniel Bellinger, man, definitely doing big things, man. So big shout out to Daniel Bellinger, and big shout out to these guys, man. Some of them coming off the practice squad, bro. You know, these wide receivers, man, next man up vibes, they are really taking in that theme and that quote and embodying it. So big shout out to all of them, man. Like, dudes that are not supposed to be out here making plays, man, are making plays. And we didn't even have to throw the ball that much in this game, you know. Or I won't say we didn't have to throw the ball that much, but we didn't have to complete a lot of passes in this game. When you look at the box score, man, it's not much. It's really not much there. Like, Daniel Bellinger had the 5, Wan'Dale Robinson had the 3, Marcus Johnson had 2, Richie James had 2, Darius Slayton had 1, Matt Breida had 2 catches out the backfield, and Saquon Barkley had 3 catches out the backfield. David Sills added 1 reception for 8 yards. I always get David Sills and Davis Mills. Like, that's really a tongue twister. I'm always mixing those 2 names up. But David Sills, man, you know, he did contribute with the 1 catch. Looked a little confused when he made that catch too, but got some positive yards. So, you know, big shout out to all of these guys, man. Like, I know a lot of people like to rag on David Sills and some of these other guys coming up. You know, I saw somebody saying that Richie James was going to go to the bench now that Wan'Dale Robinson was going to be in the lineup. But I didn't think that was going to be the case. You got to find a way to be able to get all your playmakers out on the field, and we lack that in the wide receiver department heavy. So big shout out to these the pass catchers, man. They definitely did their thing, man. And the Giants, you know, defeat the Ravens, man, 24-20, man. This is a huge, huge, huge victory. I tried to get you know, quick listen to as much national media as I could, and I scoured Twitter super early on, just trying to find some overreactions. Like I said, man, it was very difficult to find overreactions. And let me see. I'm trying to get the chat caught up here, which it looks like it froze up here in StreamYard. I just want to catch up on y'all, make sure I ain't missed nothing from y'all, and I did. Shout out to LA Lou one time in the building, man. I appreciate you pulling up, man. Big supporter of Entertainers Channel, man. Appreciate you pulling up with this $5 super chat, man. Definitely means a lot to this channel. Let me enlarge this so I can see this. If yesterday's Giants team shows up on Thanksgiving, Dak or no Dak, the Giants will beat the Cowboys. Dak coming back is not an improvement. I agree with everything you said there. I do think that Dak coming back is an improvement for the Cowboys, though. You saw with Cooper Rush, as soon as they started getting to him early on last night, he kind of looked a little bit shell-shocked, a little bit rattled out there. He started to get it together a little bit and showed some composure late in the third. But I do think that gives them a little bit of an improvement. Not as drastic as most people thought, though. Like, you know, they might have the best backup quarterback situation in the NFL right now. And I don't know if that's just because, like, you know, Cooper Rush has been there for like 5 years, product of the system type vibes. I'm not too sure, to be honest, but he came in, man, and to go, 4-1 now as a backup, you couldn't ask for more if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, man. So I do agree with you, though, in the first portion of this, man. Like, if this Giants team can continue to show up, which we've seen it from the defense pretty much week in and week out. Defense can, like, you know, have their moments in the first half, but they end up showing up in the second half pretty much in every game. And if they can do that, Giants are going to see their way to a lot of victories, man. Like, I'm starting to be, like, questioning where the Giants are in the power rankings now. Like, how many teams in the NFC are actually better than the New York Giants? You know what I'm saying? You could say the Eagles. Vikings are sitting there at 4-1, 5-1, I believe now. The Giants, man, I'm just like, I'm really speechless about this team. Like, sitting at 5-1 is just so surprising, man. I had us winning maybe 7 games on the year at the beginning of the season, and to be sitting at 5-1 right now with the 4 games that we have on our schedule coming up that look all winnable. Let's just say the Giants go 3-1 over this next stretch. To be sitting at 8-2, man, this coaching staff is working wonders, man. Shout out to you, LA Lou, for pulling up, though, and rocking with us, man, on this Monday afternoon, man. I'm glad you got a chance to come over here and check us out. I know you a busy man. LA Rams fan over there. Y'all kind of struggling, man. I hope y'all can get things together, man. But big shout out to you. And big shout out to David, too, one time, man, for the $2 super chat. He says we were very lucky that Rashad Bateman was out. Yeah, that definitely hurt them a little bit. But, you know, the crazy part is like, the Ravens' offense really wasn't a problem through 3 quarters, man. They just fell apart there at the end of the game, and I'm going to get to that a little bit too, man. Like, it's very interesting how this game kind of, you know, just fell in our favor a little bit, and the Giants made the plays they needed to make late in that game to go on and take that victory, man, 24-20. And I'm just scrolling back, just making sure I didn't miss. I missed a ton because I was in my bag just now. Shout out to Bluegrass Picker one time in the building, man. 5-1 is better than my Chiefs. That's right, man. Shout out to you, man. Them Chiefs looking all right, man. Y'all took that L, though, to them Buffalo Bills. That was an AFC Championship preview, if you ask me. And Bluegrass says he enjoys watching those gritty Giants play, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. And all the support, man, outside of your super chats, man, that you've shown this channel is so major, bro. Like, all the stuff you were doing on Facebook for us, man, and the reposting and all that, man, that stuff goes a long way. A lot of people don't understand, like, that's how you get word of mouth and people start to figure out about our channel. You know, a lot of the compliments that we've been getting throughout the years is this is a high-level channel that deserves more subscribers. But at the same time, I've always told Entertainer this too. I enjoy this like tight-knit community of about 2,500. I really do, because it's like I know what to expect on a Giant Overreaction. When you pull up in our chat, you're not going to see a lot of BS, you know, and I almost know everybody in the chat. And those people that are new that are pulling up, you know, I'm starting to build relationships with them as well, like having these off-camera conversations with people on Twitter and chopping it up with people on Xbox and in these Twitter spaces and all that stuff, man. It's just amazing, man, to like, because I'm here in Washington, D.C. There's not a lot of New York Giants fans outside of one of my best friends, my homie Patrick. There's not a lot of Giants fans out here. So literally, this is like a venting session for me every time the Giants get to play. On a Monday, I get to just come out here and vent with people who are diehard Giants fans, man, and even some like Anthony who are Chiefs fans that just enjoy talking football. So big salute to you, Anthony, man, and yeah, I can't explain enough my gratitude for folks like you in this community, bro. And just scrolling back, just checking, man. The chat is popping. Shout out to nicking around in the chat, too. I see you having a bunch of conversations. New face in the building, man. Salute to you, man. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, man, while you rocking out with the fam. And welcome to the fam as well. Okay, so I think we're all caught up now. I wanted to go into a clip that we're not all caught up. Shout out to the homie one time, Mr. Fitness, man. And y'all, don't get it twisted. I'm very grateful, man, for these super chats. You know, just I like to keep the show at a certain pace, you know, but these super chats got to get called out. Y'all are saying some great stuff too. Mr. Fitness says, "Awthentik, salute family, 5-1, and I'm just enjoying the ride. When is the last time we've been a third into the season and the Giants record was over 500? Yeah, I mean, that dates all the way back to 2016, man. You know, that year with Eli and Odell Beckham, and that defense was definitely solid that year, and we went to the playoffs. Believe we won a division that year as well, man. So yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. And again, I'll say, like, yo, these young fans needed this. They really, 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 really needed this, man. There's nothing like trying to support a team that's just, you know, can't get wins. And I understand the frustration of a lot of these Giants fans who are like, you know, the ones who want to see Daniel Jones gone at the beginning of the year, and the ones who, you know, it almost seems like they don't want to see the Giants winning games, right? It's like, you see them wake up and they're angry, you know, like they get right to Twitter and they're talking smack with Giants fans. Like, I saw a bunch of people, the first thing they did when we won a game was go and attack a bunch of other Giants fans. And I'm just like, where does that vibe come from? And I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from a ton of losing. That's where that comes from. It's a loser mentality to wake up and attack your own fan base, and that's why you're seeing it. So I don't fault them. I really don't, because I can sympathize with them that we've lost so much over the years that, like, people don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know how, like, they say this a lot in the rap culture and a lot in, you know, the hip hop culture and the music industry. Like, these artists get money and they don't know how to act, bro. But really what it is it's an extension of yourself, right? When you start to get some wins, hopefully it starts to change a little bit and those negative vibes start to dwindle a bit, and you know, we can start to have all positive vibes in the Giants community. And at the same time, don't get it twisted. Y'all know me. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it funky with you all day long. Like, when it's bad, I'm gonna tell you it's bad. When it's good, I'm gonna tell you it's good. And when it's great, I'm gonna tell you it's great. And right now at 5-1, it's great. It is there. This season could not have gotten off to a better start, man. I'll take that L against the Cowboys early on. I think we learned from that and learned how to close the coffin in games late, you know, and it showed up in that Packers game, and it showed up in this game against the Ravens. So shout out to you, Mr. Fitness, man, for that $4.99 super chat, man. Definitely goes a long way over here on the channel, man. So salute to you, man. Hope you're enjoying the content, and, you know, I hope you're enjoying this victory, more importantly, man, on a Monday, because it's great. And y'all know these victory weeks be taking forever. The part that I love about this is I'm getting to enjoy it. Like, when we lose, I'm so ready to get to the next week. The next week of football just comes around the corner so fast. But winning like this season already feels like 9 weeks, 10 weeks, and we're sitting at 5-1. So I'm extremely grateful, man, that the New York Giants, you know, went out there and hired the right coaching staff to get these guys in position to get these wins, man. So salute to y'all and salute to the Giants. Salute to the homie one time, Sebastian. Saquon said, mon cher. Says the Giants got the Pats blueprint, pounce on mistakes. That's true. See, a lot of people, they wanted to relate the whole Patriot way thing back to Joe Judge. I heard somebody say this morning that this looks a lot like how Joe Judge was trying to win outside of the Tennessee Titans game. Now, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I can agree with it to an extent, right? Like, we're trying not to make the big mistake, control the clock, keep quarterbacks on the sidelines. We did a fantastic job of that with Lamar Jackson. I swear every time you looked up, it was him on that bench with his helmet off looking like, man, I need another opportunity. And the Giants were able to sustain some lengthy drives. But this does look like the Patriot way a little bit, man. You know, it's like I said, outside of the Titans game and going for the two-point conversion at the end of it, we've played a lot of a controlled and calculated football, trying not to make the big mistake and not necessarily just relying on flashy, you know, big plays. It's a grinded out type of way that the Giants have been winning games. So, Sebastian, I definitely agree with you on that, man. It's a bit of that Pat's blueprint for sure. And let me just make sure I'm caught up before I get into this clip, because I want to get into a clip that I saw from Chris Canty on ESPN this morning. And shout out to y'all bringing in these super chats, man. These really go a long way, man. And, like, they mean a lot to this channel. I'll keep it real with you. Like, I've spent a ton of money on gear in this studio and a ton of money on different softwares and all kinds of different things to try to up the ante on the production of this show. And these super chats are definitely going a long way. But I do want to get to this Chris Canty, this clip from ESPN this morning. And I'll get to this Nick DeWick super chat real quick, and then we'll get to that clip. Shout out my day one right here, man. Nick DeWick, man. He says, for real, this YouTube community as a whole, I'm grateful for. I have met so many genuine people while being in the chat and on Twitter. Yeah, man, most definitely, man. Like, I said this on a stream the other day. It's like, sometimes, man, you got to just, not even sometimes, all the time, you got to just unapologetically be yourself so that you can just kind of weed away those people that aren't showing you love, and bring in those people that are showing you love. You bring those people closer, man. Like, me and Nick DeWick is straight homies now. I can't wait to get to see him again at a Giants game. Dude, I'm 6'1", and this dude towered me, man. In the pictures, had people asking me, looking like I'm maybe 5'6" or something like that. But shout out to Nick DeWick, man. He's you know, became one of my homies here on Giants Twitter and on the YouTube, and got to meet him in person at the Giants Fan Fest. I think I'm going to be coming up for that Giants-Washington game, and I'm hoping that the Washington Commanders can kind of get it together, and there's a little bit more at stake on the line for that game. But big shout-out to Nick DeWick, man. He's been a big supporter of us since day one, man. I think I met him in a chat way back on Cobb Pizzle's channel. He sent me my signed Odell Beckham jersey when I told him I had no memorabilia. You know, I actually only had one piece of memorabilia at the time. I think I told him I had no memorabilia, so I might have lied to you, Nick DeWick. But shout out to you. I just knew it was going to be an Odell Beckham jersey because I cop for Odell Beckham all the time. I wear the cape for Odell Beckham, like a lot of fans wear that cape for Daniel Jones. So I don't fault nobody, and I will admit it. I definitely wear a cape for Odell. I want to see Odell win because I felt like Dave Gettleman and them did him extremely dirty. But shout out to Nick DeWick one time, man. And another day one in the building. The homie Word is in the building. We putting the curse words up on them. All of that. Giants got the victory. Shout out to Word for the $2 super chat. He says, F them, we ball. That's big facts, man. Definitely, man. We got Brian Dable holding it down at the head coaching position with the New York Giants, man. Doing a lot over here, man, that previous coaching regimes definitely couldn't do, man. So that takes me to this next clip that I definitely want to share with y'all, man, from Chris Canty today on ESPN. This was I thought he hit this spot on. Y'all can tell me if you think this is an overreaction or if you want to take the under or not on this, but not necessarily one of my overreactions I wanted to bring to y'all attention today. I just wanted to bring up some of the points that he talked about on the show today.
Based on what we've seen and them actually beating the Baltimore Ravens at home coming off of the London trip, we got to start taking the Giants seriously as a good team. And you mentioned it. You talked about it off the top. The Ravens outplayed the Giants in a lot of different facets in that game. I mean, when you look at the total yards of both offenses, the New York Giants had 238 yards of total offense, which is absolutely putrid. The Baltimore Ravens had 406 yards of total offense. The average yards per play for the Ravens on offense was 7 yesterday. The New York Giants was 3.8, so nearly half of that. So when you start talking about productivity, there's a lot of instances where you're looking at the stat sheet and you're saying, man, this Baltimore Ravens team outplayed the New York Giants. But to me, the devil is in the details with the game yesterday. The Giants were so good in situational football, and that's the sign of a good coach team, a well-coached team. The Giants were 7 of 14 on third down. They were 3 for 5 in the red zone. And, Carlin, the biggest thing is your quarterback played relatively mistake-free football.
Yeah, man. I think Chris Canty is just hitting some great points there because, yeah, I do think that the Ravens offense outplayed the New York Giants. And in the first three quarters, you definitely saw that. But that's why I use the word resilience for this team because they stuck with it, man. They never quit. You saw that defense play a lot of bend, don't break type of vibes, man. And they come away with the victory. And I wanted to bring attention to a couple of the plays that happened. I mean, you had the big touchdown run, the first touchdown of the game, actually, from Kenyon Drake. And Kenyon Drake had me extremely worried. Like that number 17 that he rocks is extremely deceiving, man. He looks like a wide receiver out there in the backfield, right? But he comes out, he runs tough. And I heard the announcer, I forget who was announcing the game. It might have been Collinsworth. I can't remember who was announcing the game. But he said something about Kenyon Drake looking like he's got his legs underneath of him for the first time since his injury. Then he had another 30-yard run on the Ravens' next possession as well. So this got me to looking up some of the stats. This was on Giants.com. Kenyon Drake, right? With those two runs, he's the first Giants opponent with two runs of at least 30 yards in a single game since Michael Vick did it in 2010. So that goes to show you that when you get big plays like that, you really are supposed to win those kind of games. And I do think that the Ravens were in position to win this game, but it came down to them just making the mistakes and the Giants not making the mistakes. Lamar Jackson accounted for 287 yards of total offense. Kenyon Drake had 10 carries for 119 yards and a touchdown, and we really couldn't stop Mark Andrews all day. It's like, you know, the task at hand is to stop Mark Andrews, and the Giants literally just could not do it. It was really just very interesting, man, and like peculiar that they know they got to stop him, and he's not like a fast guy, but Mark Andrews just finds a way to get open. And he reminds me of some of the better tight ends in our history, you know, the Tony Gonzalez, the Jason Wittens, who, like, they weren't that fast of guys, but they found ways to get open. They use leverage a lot, and they just get open and make catches. Mark Andrews was making video game type catches out there on that touchdown play where he was fading back, man, kind of like double caught it. Great catch. The only drop that he had, it really wasn't a drop because the ball got tipped. And then Fabian Moreau almost had an interception on that play. A lot of people are calling that a drop. I don't call that a drop. That's a bang play. It gets tipped, then the wide receiver hits it. The ball hits two different trajectories before it got to Fabian Moreau. That's why he plays defense. Wide receiver, maybe you make that catch. And let me see what Nick DeWick talking about here one time on his Super Chat too, man. Shout out to Nick DeWick one time. For the $4.99 Super Chat, says, I don't want to spoil the show, but when I first met you, I had that big number 97 jersey on. I've been on the Dex train for a minute now. That's facts. And I don't have many notes about Dexter Lawrence on this podcast in particular. But I know that now he's got 3 consecutive games with a sack. Dexter Lawrence, man, he's one of the players from the Dave Gettleman regime that I was extremely skeptical about after a few years being here with the New York Giants. Then you see him switch it up with the coaching now and with Wink Martindale with this aggressive style of defense. Dexter Lawrence looks like one of the best players on that defense. Dare I say he's the MVP of that defense right now? I mean, he's been consistently balling out. So big shout out to him, man. And Nick DeWick, I definitely appreciate the Super Chat, man. Big shout out to you, too, as well. Let me get that one down. And, yeah, okay, so I'm all caught up there as well. But, yeah, I mean, the Ravens offense, man, they were doing a lot. I was extremely skeptical in the first half. I'm looking at it like, man, if this continues, man, and they get to a 3-score lead, this game is going to be over. And like I said, Lamar Jackson, yeah, he accounted for the 287 total yards of offense, but it was all about the mistakes, man. There were some major momentum changes in this game, late in this game, in the fourth quarter. 2 huge takeaways in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds by the New York Giants defense. The Ravens are trying to run out the clock with 3:10. To me, this was the biggest momentum shift in the entire game, okay? You got to think about this. Yeah, the Giants got 3 timeouts left, but there's only 3:10 left, and the Ravens are right around, they're at the 46-yard line. They're up 20-17. And I went upstairs to watch this portion of the game. I was standing next to my girl, and I'm telling her, I'm like, you know, I don't want to get reeled in here. You know, I'm still worried that they're going to run this clock out. They've had success running the ball all game long, and I thought they were going to be able to run the clock out. Now, 3rd and 1. Lamar Jackson runs that quarterback sneak. He gets the first down. I'm thinking it's doomsday. You look up, there's yellow paint on the field. There's a flag on the field for illegal formation, and that is 1,000% on the coaches. You got to get your players in line to be able to, you know, make the right plays, and you get an illegal formation that now takes away a first down. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 6, and Lamar Jackson's feeling that pressure now. You get back-to-back plays with a mistake where the offense just pretty much hiccups here, okay? So you get the illegal formation on 3rd and 1. Lamar Jackson would have had a first down. the Giants are probably going to have to call a timeout there because you can't allow them to just drain 40 seconds. So let's just say, you're looking at 3 minutes left in the game. Lamar Jackson gets that first down. The Giants use their first timeout. Now you're going to be in that mode of like, hey, you got to start using your timeouts. You're going to use that 2-minute warning to stop the clock. But when you get that ball back, you can't forget too that the Ravens are driving. They're around the 50-yard line here now. So if they get in a field goal range, they'll push it to a 7-score lead. They got the best kicker in the damn league. So this was the biggest momentum shift. That 3rd and 6, man, Lamar Jackson, the ball looked like it got snapped to him a little bit early. Hits him on the shoulder pads. He has the whereabout to actually pick the ball up and try to make a play. I think he probably, if you're a Ravens fan, you want him to run it. He picks it up, scrambles to his right, and then he makes the biggest mistake of the game here. He tries to throw it in traffic, and Julian Love comes up with the interception. It's the first interception that the New York Giants had on the year, and the New York Giants were the last team in the NFL to not have an interception. So it's great to get off of that bench and get that off our backs one time and have an interception. And it's a huge momentum shift. The Ravens go from now trying to drive down the field and drain the clock or maybe put up the game-sealing touchdown or set to go ahead by 7 with a field goal to then now the Giants have the ball down by 3, driving in Ravens territory. I mean, to me, it was I just sat down. This was the first point in the game where I sat down on the couch. And I just said, I hope the Giants don't screw this up because they gave us a grand opportunity there. Then we get down to the red zone. We're driving. Daniel Jones getting us down there. We get down to the red zone on 3rd and 3, and that's the play where Marcus Peters gets the interception. And I'm just like, man, I saw the flag immediately. So I'm just praying to the Giants' gods. I'm like, please let that flag be on the Ravens because I know what the narrative was going to be if Daniel Jones threw an interception in the red zone down by 3 with everything on the line. I knew what it was going to be. People are going to wake up and say, this is the same old Daniel Jones, blah, 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 blah. And that's not the narrative that we need for Daniel Jones right now. Even if we would have been 4-2, Daniel Jones has still played great football right now. As me and the Beard like to talk about on this channel a lot, are you playing winning football? Daniel Jones is playing winning football. So I was extremely relieved to see that flag was on the Ravens. You come back, Giants got the ball on a 1-yard line. Saquon punches that in for the victory. Right there, I'm like, there's no way the Giants going to screw this up, but still 4-point lead now. We're up 24-20. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to have another shot at it. They're going to be able to try to come down the field. And I was still a little bit worried, but I felt good about it being a 4-point lead. I was like, they're going to have to go down here and get a touchdown on us. And all day long, they weren't some touchdown maniacs. You know what I'm saying? They were getting down there. They kicked some field goals. They even missed a field goal in this game. It was a long one, but I was very surprised. But the next turnover, man, the second one was when Kayvon Thibodeau gets the strip sack. Game over. Another fourth quarter collapse by the Ravens, man. The Giants contained Lamar Jackson. I will say that. They didn't do a fantastic job of it. And I do think, like, this is a game where the Ravens go home like, we let the Giants get one. We let them sneak away with a victory when we really should have won this game, right? But for us Giants fans, we're looking at it like, man, you gave us an opening in the fourth quarter to capitalize, and all year long, the New York Giants have been capitalizing on those moments. Lamar Jackson now, in the fourth quarter this year, has 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and a QBR of 28. This is a contract year for Lamar Jackson, and he's not doing the things right now, I feel, to earn that guaranteed money to be the number one paid quarterback in the NFL so far. He's done his damage throughout his career, and I think, he's an exciting player. He's a great player. Lamar Jackson, to me, is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, like hands down. System is built around him. I like what they're doing over there, but right now the Ravens are definitely struggling in the fourth quarter. You got to put some of this on the coaching as well. Harbaugh's not known to have these fourth quarter lapses, mental lapses as well, to have your team line up in an illegal formation with everything on the line on 3rd and 1 and a quarterback sneak where you got the yards. That's unacceptable for me as coaching goes. The Ravens now have a negative 42-point differential in the fourth quarter. It's the worst in the NFL. They got to clean it up. But for me as a Giants fan, I'm extremely grateful, man. This defense showed up. Xavier McKinney led the Giants with 9 tackles. He had 5 solo tackles, and Fabian Moreau had 8 unassisted tackles on the day. Fabian Moreau is another guy that when I talk about people coming up from the practice squad or being signed late in the season due to injuries, he stepped up, man. Fabian Moreau has been doing great things for the New York Giants, man. So I love what these guys are doing. Next man up vibes. they're embodying that and they're capitalizing on that, and they're all making plays. And I think that they're if they're not solidifying their future with the New York Giants, they're solidifying their future with another team somewhere, because they're all guys that are making plays. And 3 players that I wanted to bring up that, a lot of people were down on, I would say, during the Dave Gettleman regime. A lot of Dave Gettleman's draft picks are starting to look like they all right now, right? Like, I always thought that Dave Gettleman drafted pretty decent, but some of these guys just weren't panning out. But, I mean, you got guys like Andrew Thomas that are definitely balling out right now, showing up. And Kayvon Thibodeau comes from the draft picks that were traded and whatnot. Kadarius Toney, we want to see him get it together as soon as he gets healthy. But I wanted to bring attention to O'Shane Ximines, Julian Love, and Dexter Lawrence. Now, these guys weren't getting the pass that Daniel Jones was getting the first 3 seasons. The narrative going around the league or going around the Giants community about Daniel Jones was, oh, we cannot evaluate him. You can't evaluate him. You can't evaluate him because of the talent that is around him. The coaching that is instilling the game plans for him, the philosophy. There was so many different, I won't even call them excuses, but just so many different phrases and narratives that were given for Daniel Jones. But never once did you ever hear those same narratives given to those other guys like O'Shane Ximines, Julian Love, and Dexter Lawrence. People just expected them to show up and show out. And now you're seeing it with the right scheme with Wink Martindale, who a lot of people now are saying might be a guy who's got a bid for a head coaching job. I hope not. I do think that a lot of these offensive coordinators and a lot of defensive coordinators as well, they're in the hunt to be a head coach too fast. Like, allow us to get a Super Bowl. Allow us to win some playoff games before we start jumping the gun and think Wink Martindale is going to go out here and take a head coaching job somewhere else. I hope for the benefit of the Giants that he doesn't, because with that pairing of Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka and then Brian Daboll as a head coach, and then Joe Schoen out there doing all that front office stuff. Joe Schoen's out here on Saturdays scouting quarterbacks, scouting football players from college right now that he knows he wants to bring in and be an asset to be able to be a piece within the New York Giants locker room. It's a win-win. Like, it's almost like Joe Schoen walked Brian Daboll into the New York Giants atmosphere hand in hand and was like, this is my guy. He almost treated him like a son, I feel like, in some of those early press conferences during minicamp and during preseason. And now we don't even see Joe Schoen out there. He gave the keys to Brian Daboll. I gave you the players. You know the task at hand. You know what we can do. Go handle business. And that's what Brian Daboll has definitely been doing, man. So I can't be happier. It's been an incredible 6 games for the New York Giants, man. 5 wins now. I believe it's 6 games of 1 score or less. This is ridiculous. These are games that the Giants would have hands down lost last year, the year before that with Pat Shurmur. These are games that would have been L's. And now Brian Daboll is finding ways to make these games be victories for the New York Giants. Shout out to J-Tech one time in the building with the $2 super chat. He says Lamar Jackson was 12-0 against the NFC. Yeah, I had that in my notes here, man. Like 12-0 against the NFC, man. So it goes to show you, like, Lamar Jackson is a high caliber player. And when no Mets, no Nets, no Jets said in the beginning of this show, he was saying that the narrative of "Are we the real deal?" should have been for 2 weeks ago. And I think that, like, it serves more purpose today because Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, yeah, that defense has been a little bit, sketchy this year. But they are a high-powered football team. That is a team that you are going to see in the playoffs or having a bid at the playoffs come December, come January. They're going to be right there in the mix. And we just beat them. Same thing with those Packers in the NFC, man. The Packers are a team, yeah, they took a hit at the wide receiver position. You could say, oh, they're not who they used to be and all that. But those are good teams we're beating. Look at the Tennessee Titans right now. I didn't get a chance to keep my eyes on them this past weekend if they had a bye or not. But they won 4 straight games after the Giants beat them. They are not a bad team. They are definitely a good team that's going to be at the top of the league here when it comes time for playoffs. AFC is a little bit more stacked than the NFC, so I don't know if they're going to be able to get in, how that's going to work out. But these are good teams. So back-to-back, the New York Giants, after being 3-1, back-to-back, you get 2 huge wins, man. These wins are bigger than any other 2 wins I'm seeing across the league. Like, the Giants are just showing up. They're winning games, and they're doing it in the fourth quarter. They're getting comebacks to do it. Like, I really couldn't be more happy. I mean, this is like, you probably going to see more content this week from me than you've seen in any week starting this season. Like, I'm ready to dump out videos because there's so much to talk about with the New York Giants, man. Like, they are the biggest surprise team in the NFL right now. Last week, I don't know if we could say that. The Eagles now are sitting at 6-0. That's a great, great accomplishment for them. But it's not that big of a surprise. It's not a surprise like how the New York Giants are at 5-1. And shout out to Axel one time. Axel Foley. I'm trying to remember where Axel Foley is from. It's from like an OG movie or something like that. I can't remember where Axel Foley is from. Somebody remind me in the chat where that name is from. But shout out to Axel Foley with the $2 super chat. He says, never count D Giants out. Asking you, England and Brady. Facts. Yeah, man. Y'all know how we do, man. Like for the OGs that was around, for the early Super Bowl runs in the 2000s. We know all you got to do is get us in. And right now we got about an 85% chance of getting in the playoffs, man. So all we got to do is get in. That's all it is. Like straight up, we get in, we got a shot. This team is gritty. And it reminds you of them teams that won the Super Bowls in the 2000s as well. Like it reminds you of those gritty defenses that had Strahan, Tuck, Umenyiora, and the pass rush, and being built upon the defense leading the way in a way, and then the offense getting multiple opportunities. Go back to Eli Manning's career, man. There were so many times when you talk about those fourth quarter comebacks, right? There were so many times that the Giants defense gave Eli Manning multiple chances, 3 and 4 chances. Go back and look at that San Francisco 49ers game, the championship game in the playoffs, where Eli's helmet is like sideways on his face and whatnot. Go look at how many opportunities he had at the end of those games. Some of those were by design by the defense. Some of those were mistakes from the other team. But the similarities of this team is that when we were given the opportunities, we capitalized on them. Those windows we like to talk about, Eli was diving right through those windows. And you're seeing that with this team here. In the championship game with the San Francisco 49ers with Eli Manning, it was Kyle Williams. He fumbled like 2 punt returns, just had a horrible day and gave opportunity for Eli Manning to go out there and do things. And now Daniel Jones leads the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks right now with 4 fourth quarter comebacks that he has. So shout out to him, man, and shout out to Axel Foley, man, for pulling up. I'm still trying to remember where that Axel Foley comes from. Let me see. I'm just scrolling the chat now because there's so much to rap about. But I'm just scrolling the chat, seeing what y'all talking about, and making sure we all caught up. Shout out to No Mets, No Nets, No Jets. Big salute to you for that $4.99 super chat. He says, shout out to the new record of viewers. Yeah, this is a new record over here, man. We just breached like 155 a second ago. And No Mets, No Nets, No Jets says, hit that thumbs up, man. Subscribe and hit that bell. LFGNYG. That's going to be a new saying over here, man. I'm definitely digging that. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you pulling up, man. The flipping sports guys in the building, too, man. Shout out to you, fam. Oh, man. Awthentik. Come on, man. Flag on the play. Beverly Hills Cop. And I just watched it the other day, too. I just watched Beverly Hills Cop maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate you bringing that up. Now, don't forget, though, that Beverly Hills Cop was a little bit like, I was a super youngin' when Beverly Hills came out. That was like more my brother's kind of generation and whatnot. But I have seen them all. I'd say not on my favorite list of movies, but it's definitely up there. I went and rewatched the first one the other day, man. Great film. And Eddie Murphy, man, he played that role to a T, man. He played that like coming from the hood. I think he was from Detroit, coming from the hood of Detroit and kind of, having to go over there to California and mingle with some of those people. Kind of showed you that imbalance that they had, because Eddie Murphy was just more on like his hood vibe straight out of Detroit and whatnot, man. But a good flick nonetheless, man. So appreciate you bringing that to my attention, man. Shout out Bookend Tackles in the building too, man. Been rocking with us a lot, man. Kicking around or nicking around says, sorry we existed before they started calling it the Super Bowl. That's for them OGs out there one time. Definitely, and I'm just making sure we caught up here before we move into this. I'm going to get into this read, and then we're going to get into these overreactions. I got a couple, and then I'll get y'all out of here about an hour and a half total. Let me see. Oh, Texas boy says, y'all haven't made the playoffs since OBJ was on a boat trip. Yeah, that was, what was that, 6 years ago? Yeah, the football gods blessed us. Extremely, extremely grateful for it, too, that they blessed us in 2007, 2011 with 2 Super Bowls, bro. You got to think, I don't know if Texas boys, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. I see the star now in the Texas. He's definitely a Dallas Cowboys fan. You got to think, man, y'all still trying to win a Super Bowl since the 90s. Troy Aikman, bro. Like, some of these kids wasn't even swimming in their daddy's nutsack back then, okay? Like, the New York Giants, we sitting on 2 Super Bowls that we could probably hang our hat on them 2 Super Bowls for about a good 3 decades. But we got one pretty much in every decade of football. So we waiting. pump them brakes, man. This might be the team, man. This might be that Cinderella team, kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals were last year, man, be able to make a run here. The NFC does not have a lot of powerful teams. And if it comes down to the New York Giants having to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs to make it, I will be all for it, man. But shout out to you, man. It has been a while for us, but it's been a wow for y'all. So you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. 50 Cent's got a line that kind of rearranges that a little bit too, to talk about watch your mouth. I think when you talk about the New York Giants, kind of got to watch your mouth, man, now if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, or Washington. Washington hasn't won a Super Bowl since way back Mark Rippon days. So we'll pump the brakes on the Super Bowl talk. I think the Eagles got a little bit of bragging rights with their Super Bowl in 2017. But outside the Eagles fan base, we got to pump the brakes on the Super Bowl talk. But shout out to you, Texas boy. You already know what it is, man. You're welcome here anytime, man, to come chop it up with us, man, here on Awthentik in the Beard, man. Appreciate you pulling up and adding to the conversation today. All right, I'm gonna get this Manscaped read out the way real quick, and then we're gonna dive right into these overreactions, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man. We got 150 in the building right now on Awthentik in the Beard, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man. All we do is talk NFC East football over here from a perspective of a New York Giants fan, which is myself, and the perspective of a Commanders fan, which is my buddy the Beard. We both live in Washington, D.C., man. I'm here right on North Capitol, man. I'm going to be doing some content from FedEx Field, too. I'm going to start pulling up on their games, especially during our bye week. I want to do some content from the stadium, man, and see the pulse of the NFC East, man, starting here in my hometown with Washington, D.C., and a ton of content, man. I'm working on a documentary for the Giants community as well right now as we speak. Can't let the cat out the bag about the title or about what it's about, because I do want that to be a bit of a surprise for y'all, man. But shout out to all y'all, man, for rocking with us, man, and showing support and being a part of this community, man, is super important to us, man. We definitely are grateful for that indeed, man. So let me see. I got to go to this other tab real quick to get this this logo up for Manscaped one time. But today's show, the Giant Overreaction Week 6 edition, is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer to you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB, like Awthentik and the Beard, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the code AATB. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Shout out to Manscaped, man, for sponsoring not only this episode, but giving us the sponsor throughout the whole entire season here at Awthentik and the Beard, man. They sent me the package, man, the whole performance package, and it's something that wasn't on my radar at first, man, to keep it real with you. Like, as a black man, I got to keep my Andis clippers for the shape up and all that. But they sent me the package, and I was extremely surprised, man. Like, everything in that package is just extremely fire, man. It's like got a nose hair trimmer in there. They got a trimmer in there, especially for you ladies, too. I know if you ladies need, a little bit down there, you got to handle the business over there. You could definitely get yourself a Manscaped package as well, man. They dropped off a T-shirt as well, some boxers, man. Like, the whole package is really dope. Comes in really good packaging. And if you do decide to go and cop that Manscaped package, it'll go a long way in support for the Awthentik and the Beard channel as well, man. So salute to them, man. We don't get too many sponsorship offers over here. We're a smaller channel, and the fact that they reached out to us, they've got some great names that they sponsor, like Pat McAfee and a few others. That goes a long way, man. So shout out to Manscaped, man. That means a lot to us over here. Let's do this, man. I want to go to an old reaction, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the 3 overreactions that I saw on the internet today. But I want to kind of go over this Dan Orlovsky one that we talked about last week and see what y'all thoughts are on this one now that the New York Giants are sitting at 5-1.
Coming into the season, the Giants had 3 questions. Did we find our head coach? That answer is unequivocally, absolutely yes.
Absolutely.
Is Saquon Barkley going to be anything in this league? It certainly seems that way. And is Daniel Jones part of our future? No. And that was the answer before this season.
Yeah.
And a month into the season, the answer is still no.
All right, so that was Dan Orlovsky actually last week. So don't take it out of context. It was last week he was talking about that. Which I wanted to bring up one of our overreactions from last week. And for those of y'all that don't know, this is how we do over here at Awthentik and the Beard. If you think the statement on the screen is an overreaction, put a O in the chat, and you can also explain why you think it's an overreaction. If you agree with the statement on the screen, put a U in the chat, which means you're going to be taking the under, and you can explain why you're taking the under and why you agree with the statement as well. If you need some more time to get your wits together and figure out, maybe a couple more games, if the statement on the screen is indeed true, you can take the push and you can use the hand emoji, or you can put a P in the chat to let me know that you push and P one time. So a lot of people last week were split on this one. This tweet came from Kid Blue, and he said he was joking about it. He just wanted to tweet it out and just see how people reacted to it. But he said, I'm convinced Daniel Jones is the New York Giants franchise quarterback. Now, we've seen 6 games from Daniel Jones this year, 6 consistent games, too. Now, my question for y'all is 6 games enough to really kind of figure out how you feel about going into next year? Now, the one question for me, too, that I ask myself is Daniel Jones going to be able to remain healthy playing this style within this offense, right? Not too sure, but I think that that's the main thing for me is, can he stay healthy? If Daniel Jones can finish the 2022 season and play all 17 games, I think that's going to go a long way for Daniel Jones. He's had injuries his first 3 seasons, all happening outside of the pocket. We saw him twist up his ankle just a couple of weeks ago, but it ended up not hurting him, and he ended up coming back to play in the Green Bay Packers game, start the game, and he looked pretty good on that ankle. And against the Ravens, the ankle looked like it wasn't even a problem. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to drop, some more sounds from your boy Awthentik, some authentic beats over here one time to give you some time to get y'all answers together, and I'll pull up some of y'all who are early in here already. And let me know what you think. If you're taking this as an overreaction, let me see them O's in the chat one time. If you want to take the under, let me see the U in the chat. And if you need a push, let me see the P in the chat one time. All right? So let me see. See what we got here. I was thrown off by Cushmaster right here. He said we beat the Eagles with Joe Judge. Stop it. We did beat the Eagles with Joe Judge, man. Sirianni called an awful game. I think he was still getting his feet wet, understanding how to utilize Jalen Hurts back then a little bit too. But we did beat them Eagles, man. That was a game that came down to the last play, came down to the wire. One of the only games that we won like that with Joe Judge, man. This year, man, it seems that Brian Dable has been definitely finding ways. Anytime we're in a position like this, he gets the W. But shout out to Cushmaster, man. I know you smoking that Kush on a Monday afternoon. Ben Dawson is taking the under on this one. He agrees Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback. Word says DJ and Saquon are in the MVP race right now. Holy. Yeah, man, that's wild, man. NY Chris is taking a push on this one. Still a lot of games to go, but I'm rooting for him. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Bub says, I ain't going to hold you. After watching Brian Dable post-interview, he might just be the franchise quarterback. Yeah, Brian Dable was an extreme support for Daniel Jones. When one of the reporters was talking about what happened at the end of the game, he was like, fourth quarter comeback, right? Two games in a row, right? Daniel Jones, right? Yeah, just making sure that they reiterate who they talking about so they don't forget the value that Daniel Jones is bringing to this team right now. Kareem Yee in the building says DJ needs to prove he can consistently push the ball down the field. That's a big question mark, but the one thing that concerns me is, like, what if Daniel Jones just keeps winning like this? Are we going to keep asking for the Giants to push the ball down the field? I mean, if we're winning, that's what New York Giants football really is. Like back in the day when they were talking about New York Giants football, that was it. Run the ball, stop the run, win games, and when you get the opportunity that presents itself to dive through that window, don't make mistakes and win games. The Giants are doing that. So I want to see the ball get pushed down the field too, Kareem. I ain't gonna lie, but if they could keep winning like this, man, might get them crickets out of me, bro. I don't know. Possibly, man. Mr. Fitness says health, just health, and that's very true. He's got to stay healthy. Bells is taking the push one time, waiting until the season's end. I can respect that. I can definitely respect that. Lucas in the building. Shout out my day one. What's going on, Lucas? Hope all is well over there across the pond. He says overreaction. Not yet. Sorry, guys. Love his heart this year, but not yet. I'm not mad at that one either, man. I think this is a conversation that could definitely split the room, man. So we're going to see answers going for both sides on this one. Shout out to Mo ESO in the building one time. That's a new face. Welcome to the fam, Mo. Mo says he's taking the push. I'll have a definitive answer by week 12. I definitely feel you on that, man. I can respect that one time, man. I'm feeling good about Daniel Jones, but I can definitely respect waiting it out a little bit. The push probably seems a little bit appropriate one time. Let me see here. Cushmaster, one more time. Daniel Jones beat the Eagles with a broken neck, still won, but yeah, Eagles sweeping us with a bunch of laughing emojis. He's going right at you, Texas boy. We got a lot of drama in the chat right now and a lot of confident New York Giants fans sitting at 5-1 right now, man. We're not scared of that Eagles pack. I will tell you that right now. Pack is normally green. We will smoke that Eagles pack one time. We got to wait a couple of weeks before we get to see those Eagles, man, so we'll see how things go until then. But Cushmaster is definitely representing them Giants one time in the chat, man. Salute to you one time. And salute to Texas boy for being in the building, man, holding his own. Salute to y'all. Who else we got up in here? Just want to make sure I got a couple more of these one time. Big Los is taking a push. I still need to see more from Danny Dimes. He's looking better, but I need more from my quarterback one. I like that. I ain't mad at that. And Rafael Colon says, my bad. He's taking the unders one time all day on this. Yeah, Colon, that reminds me of Willie Colon. I'm a big Hector Lavoe, Willie Colon fan. So shout out to Rafael one time in the building. Mac the Giants fan in the building, man. Make sure y'all go sub up to Mac the Giants fan. Great content creator in the New York Giants community. He's taking he thinks it's an overreaction. Daniel Jones is not the franchise quarterback quite yet. I respect that too, man. This is one that you could have the push, the overreaction, or the under. I really, it's going to split the room. I really could go either way. I'm kind of trying to gauge my thoughts as I see what y'all are putting up here as well. Nick the Wick is taking a push as well. Let me see who else is in the building one time. Book and Tackles is taking a push as well. And Cushmaster says it's an overreaction, but he's still smoking that Eagles pack. I like that. I definitely like that. Saint Zappa taking a push. J. Jean taking a push. Shout out to Floyd one time in the building. What's poppin', Floyd? Hope all is well on this Monday afternoon. Floyd taking the under on this one. He does think that Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback one time. And Anthony Kivler, who's been showing up to a lot of these streams lately, says he's taking the under. He needs to stay healthy and prove he can stay on the field. He has never had a 14-game season. Go G-Man. Big salute to you, Anthony. I definitely respect that opinion as well. David is also saying he's taking the under. He's the franchise quarterback for now. For the next, let me see if I'm reading this right. He's the franchise quarterback for now or the next 1 to 3 years. I like that. This is a great answer, actually. I'm glad I reread that properly because to me, what it seems like what's going to end up happening is Daniel Jones is going to play himself into a contract, right? It'll be a smaller contract, a kind of a bit of a prove-it type of deal. A lot of people have been making comparisons to Jameis Winston's contract. I think it could be a little bit more than that, actually, because I think that Daniel Jones now is showing that his ceiling is a little bit higher than what Jameis Winston was showing with the Saints over there. So I do like this. And when Anthony, I want to go back to Anthony. So I guess when Anthony is saying he's taking the under, so he does think he is the franchise quarterback, but he's just saying he needs to stay healthy and prove it a little more. Okay, I just wanted to kind of interpret that in the best way I could. Ben Dawson says it's an overreaction twice out here one time. And let me see if there's any others. Jukes in the building. Shout out to Jukes, man. I appreciate the $2 super chat, fam. He says he's taking the push. My franchise quarterback has to make the playoffs at least. Well, Daniel Jones got an 85% chance now to make the playoffs with the Giants sitting at 5-1 and a very, very, very favorable schedule coming up these next 4 games, man. It's definitely looking, in the positive right now for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. But shout out to Jukes, man, for that $2 super chat, man. That means a lot. Appreciate you supporting the channel, man. And let me see. Oh, we got another super chat here one time. Shout out to the homie Keith Wilson Jr., man. Appreciate you pulling up, man, with that $5, $4.99 super chat one time. He says, shout out Awthentik. Highly optimistic once we get some consistent talent. Not mad at moving Tony and Kenny Galladay. Boost that interior line. Real Dallas 13-ish. Yeah, I feel you on that. Kadarius Toney's got 2 more years on the contract. I'm not as easily convinced to move on him as I am on Kenny Galladay. And I do find it unfortunate that Kenny Galladay got hurt, as the Giants are trending towards up, because we don't need to see this what's the word I'm looking for? Like this flashy offense, it's gritty. And I don't think we need to see like a true number 1 wide receiver. If Brian Daboll can continue to prove that he can win games like this, imagine if he start winning games convincingly like this. People aren't going to know what to do. This reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers, and I thought that they made the wrong decision by trying to bring in their young quarterback too early. Now, I've been saying this for years, right? I'm the kind of person that, like, if you bring in a rookie quarterback, I don't want to just throw him to the wolves. And I've had some great conversations on Twitter where some people have brought up some great points that speak in favor of starting the young rookie quarterbacks in their first year, using guys like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, a bunch of people who are, examples of starting a rookie. Russell Wilson, just guys that have been winning since they've started. But then there are also examples of quarterbacks that struggle. And I think that, what's the kid's name in San Francisco? I'm struggling to remember his name, but I want to remember his name. I'm struggling to remember his name right now. But the young quarterback that came in, and now he got hurt, and Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, and they look like a better offense. I mean, I know they just took an L to my Atlanta Falcons. I called that on the parlay on Sunday. I said the Atlanta Falcons are another slept-on team. They're sitting at 3-3 right now with Marcus Mariota. But you definitely got to pump the brakes on trying to throw a rookie quarterback out there so soon. So for me, ideally, it makes sense that if Daniel Jones came out this year and he shit the bed, okay, well, you got Tyrod Taylor on a 2-year contract, which doesn't sound great. I want Daniel Jones to succeed, because if Daniel Jones succeeds, you can either address the quarterback position in next year's draft, or you can put it off a little bit, sign Daniel Jones to a 2-year deal, and have him just be the quarterback for the next couple years. But if you see your guy in the draft, go out there and go get him. So for me, I think that Daniel Jones playing good football is good for the New York Giants, not only for this year, but for years to come. This sets us up to be able to put other priorities in position to be able to bring these players in. We can address positions like wide receiver, interior line, linebacker. Secondary is still an issue for me. I think you can bring in some more cornerbacks to come here and try to upgrade that room just a little bit. So I'm one of the guys that's like, priorities are win the game. Win the games first. There was that clip that went around of Kimberly Martin just last week, and I'm the one who ran that clip up. That's the first clip I've ever had on Twitter go crazy like that. That thing got 2 million views. And shout out to the homie who actually posted it. I took it from his post and reposted it, and all I said was they handing out jobs at ESPN now, and it went crazy. She was literally saying that the Giants need to lose more games and try to find a way to tank to go out here and get a quarterback next draft. It is most important to win games. I am never one for tanking. There were people talking about tanking during that, the Chase Young year and all that. How that looking right now? We don't want to tank for one player, man. The NFL is a sport football is the ultimate team sport, man. One player is not going to come in here and completely change the landscape of what the New York Giants are doing. It's not basketball where you get a guy like Steph Curry in the lineup and now you're a winning team and all. It's not like that. You got 22 players that need to go out there. And I'll describe this again for people on Twitter who are giving me a little bit of flack for this. They're like, oh, well, baseball has however many people on the field. Well, baseball doesn't have offense and defense. Our quarterback is not playing free safety like this is high school, okay? Our running back is not playing DB. Our fullbacks, our tight ends are not playing linebacker. You got 22 dudes out there that all got to go out there and get a job done. There's no way one player is going to change that. So for me, I'm definitely optimistic, Keith. I'm with you on this. I'm super optimistic because think about if they start putting more talent around Daniel Jones that can actually stay healthy and he's playing like this, we might be looking at the franchise quarterback. And y'all know I was not high on that entering the season. But the way he's playing right now is undeniable. It is undeniable dope right now that Daniel Jones is playing the way he is playing. So people got to put some respect on his name, man. I think the more and more he continues to win with the New York Giants in this regime and he puts up decent numbers, and most importantly, he's taking care of the ball, he's going to start to look more and more like a franchise quarterback by the week. That's just what it is. And shout out to Bark Nasty one time in the building, man. Bark Nasty was a day one over here. He says he's taking a push, but it looks more likely than not. Imagine if Dable does develop him like an Allen, like people like to troll about. This is a good point because, like, I even saw people, like, pulling up some of my old tweets and some of my old sayings where I said that Daniel Jones was going to be a Josh Allen or better at the time. This was, like, 2020. And now it's like they clowned it for so long, but it's like it's starting to look more like it. Like, I never thought in a million years that Brian Dable was going to be able to develop Daniel Jones. I thought Daniel Jones was a shot fighter. I'll keep it real with you. I thought that everything that happened with him throughout the regime, especially during the Joe Judge tenure and Jason Garrett, I thought all of that broke him mentally. But now you're looking at a guy, I mean, yeah, he had that little turnover in this game, but that don't count. It was right before the half. He's trying to make a play, and he made a little quick split-second decision during that play. I know he got hit and he fumbled the ball, but the way he, like, circled back in and saw the pressure, I was like, this kid's getting some pocket, you know, his recognition in the pocket presence was better. Like, but then he got hit and he fumbled the ball. So I kind of jumped the gun on that. But I do agree with you, Bart Nasty. The more and more he plays like this, just imagine that narrative of, like, comparing him to Josh Allen might become a thing because he is a runner and he's a good thrower. And if Brian Dable can set him up, put him in position to be able to start showing like he has in the past 2 weeks that he is a good thrower, man, put the league on notice, bro. That whole, like, parody and trolling him about that, about being as good as Josh Allen or developing him like Josh Allen, we're going to have to throw that out for sure. But shout out to Bart, and I'm glad, like, I didn't even see your comment, bro. I just saw you, and I was like, let me highlight this comment because I haven't seen Bart Nasty in here a ton. He's been here a couple times this season. I remember he had day one, but that's a great point you bring up, man. That's, like, people are going to have to pump the brakes on talking that narrative about Daniel Jones in comparison to Josh Allen. Now, don't clip this up and put this on Twitter and be like, hey, Awthentik's back on it saying, you know, Daniel Jones is looking like he's as good as Josh Allen. No, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do. But if you look at Josh Allen in year 3, this kind of looking a bit like that. And we don't have a number 1 wide receiver over here. We don't have a Stephon Diggs. You know, all we got is Daniel Jones and Richie James and Wan'Dale Robinson and players like that. And those guys, they're definitely not a, caliber wide receiver of a Stephon Diggs. That's just what it is. Shout out my homie The Beard, still in here one time. We are anti-tank here at Awthentik in The Beard. That's facts right there. Y'all know what it is, man. We ain't losing games on the highest level. We don't lose games on the lowest level. Man, I'll be out there in a two-hand touch football flag league over there losing my mind, screaming at people because I'm so dedicated to trying to get a win that it's a meaningless win. But at the end of the day, dog, you play the games to win the games. You don't play to lose games, man, to try to get draft picks. That doesn't work well for the teams. We saw the Cleveland Browns were getting top 5 draft picks for 20 damn years. They were awful. So we don't tank. The Beard is right about that. We don't tank over here, man. All right, so shout out David one time. Yeah, you're right about this, man. Appreciate that $2 super chat, and you 1,000% right. If Daniel Jones had a receiver he could rely on where he could just throw it up them like that, man, he will be looking crazy right now. He will be looking crazy. And the one thing, you know, I always say this on Awthentik in the Beard, the one quarterback who I thought excels without a number 1 wide receiver is Lamar Jackson. But seeing Mark Andrews, like, against us in that game, that's why Mark Andrews is his number 1 wide receiver. That's what it is. And Daniel Jones doesn't have a Mark Andrews at tight end, but we do have Daniel Bellinger. He's playing some good football. So I'm looking forward to seeing Daniel get some more weaponry around him, man. And I don't think it'll happen this year. I think they're going to ride it out with the wide receiver core that we have. I don't think you'll see no big trade or nothing like that. But, you know, I do think that what we have on this roster, we can win games, and the record is proof, man. You know, you are what your record says it is, as Bill Parcells once said, the legendary coach, and that's a fact, man. The Giants are 5-1 right now, so we're definitely balling out, doing some good things. And shout out Afghan, man, another day one, man. I'm always chopping it up with Afghan and entertainers, chats, and whatnot, man, so I wanted to bring attention to his comment here as well, too. He says, at the end of the day, as long as DJ continues to look promising and improve while being the best version of himself, I'll be real happy. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better, man. That's major facts right there. All right, so let's get into this this other overreaction one time, man. And let me see what y'all thinking about this one. I'm going to keep it on the quarterback one time. I saw somebody talking about this one on Twitter. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I'm going to pull up the chat real quick, so I got this one. The stats might not say it, but Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. Now, y'all know we had to have some outlandish vibes on here, but I don't think this one is that crazy. Let me see what y'all thinking about this one in the chat one time. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of time to populate y'all answers, and we're going to play the latest instrumental I cooked up called You a Fool. I almost thought about bringing another camera in here today, man, giving a second angle of the studio for y'all. So let me see. Oh, Stan got off work. I see Stan in the building. Stan pulled a Jameson. He said, I'm out. Came back for that. Oh, he said, forget that, man. He said, this is an overreaction. Let me look at the top 10 quarterbacks right now in the NFL. God damn. Matt Ryan is second in passing yards in the NFL right now. Now, that don't make no sense because the Colts have looked god-awful. That's crazy. Matt Ryan's not playing better football than Daniel Jones. All right, so let me see. I'll give you Josh Allen. I'll give you Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to give you Tom Brady right just yet. Matthew Stafford is not playing better ball than Daniel Jones. Jalen Hurts, I'll give you that. Aaron Rodgers? I don't know, Stan. Hey, Stan, I don't know, bro. Homie might be playing top 10 ball right now, bro. I don't know, Stan. Let me see what everybody else talking before I get to jumping the gun on my answer. Let me see what we talking over here. Let me scroll him all the way back one time. All right. FL in the building. Shout out to FL. Cute little puppy over there, FL. I see you. He says this is an overreaction, or she. I'm not sure FL's gender. Says it's an overreaction one time, though. Not Twitter. He said, oh, snap, not Twitter. I know that's right. Wow, Floyd Samuels is taking the under on this one. He agrees with the statement on the screen. I like that, Floyd. Bold take, man. Let him know what's up. Word is taking the push on, the stats might not say it, but Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback. Fob Blizzard said, Awthentik, let me get that beat. Maybe. I got a little something written to this, man. Y'all know I'm working on my 12th album here now. Hit me up, Fob Blizz, on Twitter, man. I might be able to let this one go, man. It's at Awthentik on Twitter, man. I feel you, though. This joint, man, I cooked this one up, and I was like, ooh, that's a vibe right there. And you will be a fool if you think them New York Giants ain't the real deal, man. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Fob Blizz one time in the building, man. Jameson said it's an overreaction. Daniel Jones ain't no top 10 quarterback. Mr. Prov says, yes, sir. Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. FL doubled down and said, big O. Mo ESO one time says this is an overreaction. He is steadily improving, but more middle of the pack is where I stand at the moment. Okay, I like the take. I respect the take, Mo. You know, in D.C., we call people Mo all the time. Like, what's up, Mo? That's one of our things out here. So shout out to Mo one time in the building, man. Mr. Finesse is taking the under. I can't name 10 quarterbacks playing better. Let's stick right here because that's what we need to do for real, right? 10 quarterbacks that are playing better football than Daniel Jones, right? We know we got Josh Allen. We got Patrick Mahomes. We got Jalen Hurts. Do we got Kirk Cousins? Can we put Kirk Cousins on that list? Kirk Cousins right now is sitting at 1,500 yards. He's almost doubling the amount of yards. He's got 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'll give you Kirk Cousins. I'm going to give you Kirk Cousins. Geno Smith is playing top 10 football right now. 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's playing top 10 football. Justin Herbert, that's 6. I'll give you Justin Herbert. He's playing top 10 football right now. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,478 yards. I'm not giving you Kyler Murray. I'll give you Aaron Rodgers. So that's 7. I'll give you Aaron Rodgers because he's got 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Even though they've lost 2 games back-to-back to New York teams, I'll give you Aaron Rodgers sitting at around 1,400 yards on the season. Trevor Lawrence, I can't give you Trevor Lawrence. Jared Goff, I might give you Jared Goff. Jared Goff has 11 touchdowns on the year, 4 interceptions. He's thrown for 1,397 yards. All right, I'll give you Jared Goff. That's 8. I can't give you Jacoby Brissett. I can't give you Derek Carr. I can't give you Russell Wilson. I can't give you Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't give you Marcus Mariota, even though he's in the same bracket, I think, as Daniel Jones. He's playing some good football. Right now only has 6 passing touchdowns, though 4 interceptions, but he is getting something on the ground as well. And then Davis Mills, Tua, and Cooper Rush, I can't give you those guys. That's 8 quarterbacks that we named that are playing better football than Daniel Jones. Lamar Jackson, I'll give you 9. Lamar Jackson. 10 is Daniel Jones. So you know what? I'm going to say right now, this is not an overreaction. And I know this is going to surprise a lot of people. Daniel Jones is playing top 10 football, and I love how this started off by the stats might not say it, but he is. Look at the way he's winning. The fourth quarter comeback wins with 4 of them. Anytime his team needs to rely on him to make a play, he has made that play, especially late in games. if Giants fans want to ask for anything, it'd be to rev it up a little bit more in the first half of games, because right now we've been struggling. We've struggled mightily in a few games in the first half. Carolina Panthers comes to mind. Dallas Cowboys, the score was 6-3 at the half. That game comes to mind. Tennessee Titans, that's another game that comes to mind. This Ravens game comes to mind. We definitely struggled in the first half. But Daniel Jones, man, he's doing the things late in games to get these victories. I'm going to run over a couple more of y'all's, and then we'll get to the next overreaction. Ben Dawson, he needs a push on this one. You could take the push. Push is an easy way out because Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 QB right now. So when you take that push, I know you copping. You're taking the easy way out, man. So Ben Dawson's got the push one time. Lucas says that this is an overreaction. Don't want to be negative, maybe top 15. Well, Lucas, I need you to tell me the other. We named a good 9. I think anyone would have those 9 over Daniel Jones. But are we saying guys like Trevor Lawrence are playing better football than Daniel Jones? Are we saying guys like Kyler Murray is playing better football than Daniel Jones? I even threw Geno Smith in there. Matthew Stafford is not playing better football than Daniel Jones right now. Tom Brady, we could put Tom Brady. If we put Tom Brady, then that would put Daniel Jones on just looking out of the top 10. He'd be around 11 because Tom Brady does have 8 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. So he is playing good football, and he's 4th in yards. So maybe you put Tom Brady in there, but then Geno Smith, maybe we kind of remove somebody possibly. It's close, man. It's extremely close, man. And let me see. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets says absolutely taking the under. 4 game-winning drives with no wide receivers. And that's another thing. We got to take into account the company around Daniel Jones is not the company around some of these other quarterbacks. Tom Brady's been dealing with a couple of injuries at the wide receiver position early on in the year, but outside of that, he's pretty much had his weapons there, for the last couple of games, and he's got some real deal weapons over there. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets says 1 to 2 game-winning drives without Barkley, and yes, DJ is playing better than Rodgers and Brady. Bold take from our homie right there one time. Mr. Finesse, shout out Mr. Finesse, says there aren't 10 quarterbacks playing better. That's a fact. That's real. That's real. That's definitely real right there. That man Daniel Jones is on his big dog vibes right now. He's doing everything he needs to do. And here's the thing is if I were to look at these statistics and look at some of the attempts where Daniel Jones resides as far as attempts go, my God, he's not even on the first page. Daniel Jones has 159 passing attempts on the season. Matt Ryan is number 1 with 100 more. Daniel's definitely playing some winning football right now, and I definitely think he's up there in that top 10 conversation. I'm going to go ahead and say top 10. I'm going to say top 10 because guys like Geno Smith, they're working with better talent at the wide receiver position. Tyler Lockett has been on a tear for the last 4 games. Can't forget about DK Metcalf. To me, it's just the weaponry that Daniel Jones is working with is putrid, as my Caucasian fellows would say. Shout out my homie PJ Torres in the building one time, man. Salute to you. Definitely agreeing on this one. Yeah, man, this is when I was typing this one up and I put it up there, I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking there's no way in hell I'm going to say Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback. Start digging, start looking through the numbers a little bit. I think Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now, entering week 7 with the Giants sitting at 5-1, the biggest surprise team in the NFL right now. Big Low says he's calling this an overreaction because stats matter. I'm trying to think how I want to respond to that, man. It's interesting because stats matter a little bit because touchdowns definitely freaking matter. But wins matter the most. And a lot of people like to say, winning is not a quarterback stat. I don't want to hear that. Winning has been a quarterback stat since day one because quarterback is the most important position on the field. You got to win games, man, at the quarterback position. It don't matter what you're doing statistically. If you're not winning games at the quarterback position, you are not going to be with that team for long. So I do think stats do matter. And you know me, man, I'm a nugget. I be digging for all the nuggets, all the stats, all the records. I love talking about stats. Stats are extremely important. But winning games and moments are more important than that, man. And Daniel Jones, When the lights are bright right now, he's winning games. I'm trying to think, was the Dallas game? The Dallas game was the primetime game where we wore all white, I believe. Yeah, because Daniel, the only loss was on primetime. So really, he's got the Kirk Cousins factor right now. It's like when you put him on the real primetime lights underneath the real lights, he's not doing as well as he has been. But outside of that, man, the dude has been definitely balling, man. Definitely been doing his thing, and I'm even shocked to say it myself right now. I think Daniel Jones is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. And being that we could only name 10 quarterbacks that we could think about putting over him, we got to dig a little bit deeper into the statement here. Is he playing like a top 10 quarterback right now? Is he playing like a top 10 quarterback? We're not taking this statement and dissecting it and saying Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback right now. Is he playing like one? I damn for sure think he's playing like one right now, man. He is doing everything asked by his coaching staff to be able to put his team in position to win games. And like I talked about with the attempts, man, he's damn near on the second page when it comes to attempts. All these other quarterbacks have way more attempts than him. Davis Mills, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Geno, Justin, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby, Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Cousins, Burrow, Mahomes, Wentz, Allen, Brady, Murray, Ryan. All of them got way more attempts than Daniel Jones. But yet Daniel Jones, his team is sitting at 5-1, largely in part due to what he has been doing on the football field. And I got a super chat from Jukes. Shout out to Jukes one time in the building. Shout out to you for that $5 super chat. He says it's an overreaction, and these are the quarterbacks that he has over him. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo. That's very interesting. I think you're reaching on that one, Jukes. I definitely think you're reaching on that Jimmy Garoppolo vibe. Kyler Murray, I think you're reaching as well. Matthew Stafford, right now, what I got to know from Jukes is, are you dissecting it as he is a top 10 quarterback right now? Because then that would be taking into account what Stafford has done in the past. That would be taking into account what Tom Brady has done in the past, what Kyler Murray has done in the past. Tua? Can I give you Tua? Let me see if I give you Tua. With my eyes, I'm not giving you Tua. He's got maybe the best wide receiver core in the NFL, possibly. Let me see where he resides here. Tua is down low in the attempts, too, because he's been banged up. Let me see where he falls in on yards, though. Let's see. I'm looking. No way. You can't put Tua on here. You can't put Tua on this list. I don't even think Tua's on the first page as far as yards. Oh, yeah, he's down at the bottom with 1,000. 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He does have a high completion percentage of 69.6, which is really good. I don't know, Jukes. You might be reaching just a little bit, Jukes. You might be reaching just a little bit. I don't know. I can't put Tua on that list, and I damn sure cannot put Jimmy Garoppolo on that list. No way. No way. No way. I'm trying to see what the chat is talking about here. Yeah, and Mo said Garoppolo. Shout out to Jukes, though, man. I don't think Garoppolo's playing better ball than Daniel Jones right now. Way more weaponry over there with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Wilson at the running back position. They know the scheme, too. Garoppolo's been in that scheme for so long now, too. Like, Okay, and Fob Blizzard says, we got to stop. LOL, he's not a top 10 quarterback. Let's just enjoy the ride. I don't know, Fob Blizzard. I don't know, fam. And the question here is he playing like a top 10 quarterback right now? You see the over-enunciation on that? Yes, he is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. Anybody with a brain knows that Daniel Jones is not a top 10 quarterback at this particular moment in the league. He's not a top 10 quarterback. But the question is he playing like a top 10 quarterback? I think he's playing like a top 10 quarterback because we can't name 10 quarterbacks right now that are playing better football. Bluegrass says, I can't disagree. And I know when you read this statement at surface value, just like how when I was typing it up, looking at the tweet earlier this morning, I was like thinking to myself, hell no. I'm like, hell no. And Kush says, I don't care. I don't care, man. I just care about the W's. I feel you, man. I just care about the W's too, but I love dissecting my team. I love talking about my team. If it was all about the W's, I really wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here talking about, all the depths and nuances of the New York Giants. I would just be like, hey, they winning games, whatever. I don't care, But at the end of the day, a lot of people like to say that, but they care about the other stuff. I care about the statistics for Daniel Jones going into next year. I care about Saquon Barkley getting the right amount of yardage to prove the naysayers. I do care about that. I can admit it straight up. And let me see. Ben Dawson says, it's the defense, folks. Oh, my God. Yeah, the defense has been playing great, great, great football. Definitely. Don't want to take away nothing from the defense, man. And Wink Martindale got a lot to do with that as well, too, man. Just getting these guys in the right position. And shout out Afghan, my day one. He says, agree, Awthentik. Like I said, modestly, had him at 14 best before this last win against Baltimore. That's taken overall performance, wins, and what each quarterback has to work with into consideration. And that's exactly what you got to do. I really think that's what you got to do. Like, when you're talking about as a guy playing like a top 10 quarterback, those are the things you want to factor in. Like, Daniel Jones can only do so much within the scheme. They're not dropping this kid back 40 times a game to throw it down the field. He's getting very minimal attempts from the quarterback position. I mean, for God's sakes, he had one game where he threw for 71 yards, and we still got the win. So I totally agree with Afghan on this one. And Lucas brings up Burrow. I think we could bring up Burrow. Burrow's playing pretty good football, too. I just, with the cast, Higgins, Chase, excuse me, he's got weapons over there, mixing at the running back. And we got a weapon at the running back position as well. But wide receiver-wise, man, Joe Burrow's got a fantastic cast around him. But it shows in his stats, 1,600 yards on a year. He's got 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So I think we could put Joe Burrow in there too. Yeah, we could put Joe Burrow in our top 10, Lucas, I think. And Brady, Tua was, people are saying. Yup, I saw that. Shout out the Word one time for the $2 super chat as well. He says, bro, Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah, Wan'Dale's going to be a weapon. I'm telling you, man, if he's available in any of y'all fantasy leagues, go scoop that man up. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be definitely a weapon to be reckoned with here soon, man. Like, you could see the offense is definitely predicated upon what he does. Shout out to Lake Nona Sports in the building, too. What up, Lake Nona? Hope all is well, man. Hope you enjoying this victory week, man. I know I am, man. This has been a fantastic show already, man. We're pushing about 2 hours. It feels like we've been on air for like 30 minutes, man. So shout out to all of y'all, man. Record-breaking numbers here on the show. Shout out my homie Juice Jones in the building, too, man. I see you, man. He says the Giants are the only NFL team without a 200-yard receiver. Wow. That's a nugget, bro. I appreciate you posting that. The O-line has allowed pressure on 46% of dropbacks, second highest rate in the NFL, and Daniel Jones still ranks 13th in EPA. Yo, I need to, copy and highlight. I'm just going to take a little screenshot of this right now, because those are some great nuggets right there. Those are great nuggets right there. Shout out to Juice Jones, man. Big Giants fan. One of the only Giants fans out here in the D.C. area rocking with me, man. He also puts out a lot of great content. It's not football content. Juice is focused on the mental awareness community, man. So definitely check him out, man. He does some awesome content. That's my homie right there. Just a good dude, man. We've partied. Juice has seen me at my drunkest. We have partied crazy. He used to be at the he was a pivotal piece of the Velvet Lounge crew. That was a music venue out here in the D.C. area on U Street, man. And he used to be at the front door all the time. I come in that thing stumbling, man, drinking beer and whatnot, man. That's my guy right there. We got a lot of memories, man. Can't wait to catch up with you, Juice, man, and chop it up and see what you're talking about these days, man. But that's that, man. That's that. Okay, the beard's got a stat here, too. Every time I look at this, I want to say Awthentik, but I know it's the beard. Rap Sheet said Wentz is looking like 4 to 6 weeks and possibly on IR. Wentz is in L.A. as we speak, seeking a second opinion. Dang. So Heineke Hive is definitely going to be happy about that. They're going to get to see Taylor Heineke go to the quarterback position for the next couple of weeks at least, while Carson Wentz is nursing that injury. Shout out to you, the beard, for bringing that to our attention. All right, let's take it to the next overreaction here on Awthentik and the Beard, man. I'm just thinking about this transition one time. All right. This one was one we talked about last week as well, too. I want to see how y'all feeling about this one. Brian Dable is coach of the year, and I want the emphasis to be on by a mile. Is this an overreaction, y'all? Let me know what y'all thinking about this one. We're going to move through this one real fast and then get to the next one and get y'all up out of here. I don't want to take up y'all whole day on this Victory Monday where the Giants took care of business against the Baltimore Ravens 24-20 at MetLife Field. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Is Brian Daboll Coach of the Year by a mile? Is there anything that could change this? What if we go on a losing streak? Anything like that? Let me know y'all thoughts on this one, man. Well, the I Am a Fool instrumental is that's the theme of the day. We're going to rock that one, man. We rocking that. Let me know what y'all think, man. I'll give y'all a little bit of time to get y'all thoughts together and whatnot. I could hear Big Crit on this. Who y'all hear on this beat? Who y'all hear rhyming on this? I hear Big Crit on this. Shout out to Big Crit, man. He came into DC one time. Played the Fillmore. He was with Smoke DZA and my homie Lalo. He's good homies with Smoke DZA. And DZA needed somebody to ride him around and take him to like the polo shops and the Georgetown shops. So my man Lalo wasn't driving at the time. He's like, Awthentik, man, come scoop us up. So I scooped him up, took Smoke DZA and the homie Lalo around. And they were staying at the Doubletree right there by the Fillmore. And we went down to the bar that's down in the lobby of the Doubletree. And two of my homies from high school were working the bar, and they saw me walk in with Big Crit and with Smoke DZA. They were like, what the hell is going on, Awthentik? And we sat down there, man, and Big Crit, shout out to Big Crit, man. He took care of the whole tab and everything. We drank Hennessy for the whole pre-show. Smoke DZA was hammered before the show. Actually had to go on a jog around the block. Came back to the hotel, man, got his stuff together. They rocked that show at the Fillmore, man. Shout out to them, man. I haven't seen Big Crit since then, man, but I definitely want to see Big Crit live again, man. Five Blizzard said currency on this one, yeah. Word said Ty the Prince on this one. I like that. Juke said this is a Cole beat for sure, man. Shout out to J. Cole. I got to work with J. Cole on the last album he came out with, the off season. When you hear that, Get Your Hand Out My Pocket, that was recorded at Beyond Studios here in DC. Shout out to my homie Zach, who got that session for me, man. I got to rock with J. Cole for like 10 hours, man, before his show at the Capital One Arena. And the verse from Let Go My Hand, not Get Your Hand Out My Pocket, I'm thinking Malcolm X. Let Go My Hand, the verse from that was recorded there at Beyond Studios, and I was the engineer on that one, man. It was an awesome session. J. Cole, down-to-earth dude, man. Word also said Ab Soul low-key. I like that. I can hear Ab Soul on this too, man. Man, Ab Soul had that awesome album, man, Control System. I thought Ab Soul was next up, man. Ab Soul is fire, bro. I love Ab Soul's work, man. I hope he can come out with some more stuff, man. TDE is probably my favorite rap group. Like, I love Ab Soul. Schoolboy Q is one of my favorite rappers, man. Kendrick is super dope, man. They got some dope artists over there, man. Isaiah Rashad, all of them are fire. Juice Jones said Freeway. I got a Freeway story too, man. I worked with Freeway in like 2012 at the old studio I worked at, man. They'll remain nameless. There's some jokers over there. They ended up closing. But Freeway came in. He did a verse for 5 stacks. I don't mean to count his pockets live on air, but he did a verse for 5 stacks, a feature verse. And the person he was doing the feature for, their lawyer was with them. And the lawyer was like, you only doing verses for 5 stacks? He's like, I'll pay you 5 stacks right now if you write up another verse. Freeway wrote up another verse. He didn't even write it. He penned the verse in his mind. And he said he learned that from Jay-Z when we were in a session together. He said it took him a long time to be able to get that, to be able to write a verse in his mind and memorize it like that, man. But Freeway, he's another one of the doper artists that I worked with. It was around the time he was doing the White Van music stuff with Jake One, who's one of my favorite producers, man. Freeway was a really down-to-earth dude, man. We got to chop it up and talk hip-hop and whatnot, man. He told me a bunch of great stories about Jay-Z and about his writing process and how Freeway learned that same writing process. He even told me that Jay got that from Biggie as well, man. So definitely big shout out to Freeway, man. I'd love to see him put out some more work too, man. I'm all for the OGs, man. Keep making that music, man, until it's over. Till that casket dip, keep making that music. But it's Brian Daboll Coach of the Year, man. I think this is unanimous here. I saw a lot of yous in the chat, man. Bark Nasty put the under 100%. I think that speaks for most of us, man. Brian Daboll, man, doing great things with this team, man. I'm excited to see how he finishes out the year, because where do we go from here? Like, is Brian Daboll going to be able to impress us even more? Is he just getting started? Is this offense going to get more vertical as the season goes along, and not only to attach that with the running game that we have with Saquon Barkley? Like, I'm just I just don't know, the expectation. I'm like, are we going to come back down to earth? Is that what it's going to be? Are we going to come back down to earth? Or are we going to get better? If we can get better, man, I'm getting goosebumps right now, bro. Like, if we can actually get better, people got to really, really, really keep their eye out for the New York Giants. So I think we're all, in agreement here. Jay Jean also says, big under. Dable matched last year's win record in just 6 games. Tell me something else or someone else doing this. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Jamar Wilson in the building. Shout out Jamar. I think this is a new face in the building, man. Welcome to the family. What you think about J-Rock or Joyner Lucas? Love J-Rock, man. Being that, like, we have the sports channel over here with Awthentik and the Beard and whatnot, I always try to cook up beats that kind of have like a anthem kind of vibe, especially as of late. That's the kind of tracks I've been trying to cook up. And I always think about that J-Rock that win record, man. Awesome, man. They used that for the NBA campaign. That was just a really solid record, man. And it just, it embodies that whole, like, championship vibe, man. Like, if the New York Giants make a run this year, that's the record I'm going to be playing, man. I might even rock that on a podcast here soon, man, and just take the demonetization, man. There's so many hip-hop records I be wanting to play for y'all live, but be worried about the demonetization. So, like, maybe we'll do a podcast where we theme it with some hip-hop vibes, where we play some of our favorite records. Y'all suggest some records, and we just, don't even worry about the demonetization and whatnot. We just take the L on that one for the day. But love J-Rock, and I love Joyner Lucas, man. Logic is from my area, and one of my childhood homies was Logic's mentor. So when Logic got signed by No ID, they went out to Cali, and for the first album, I was out there for a couple of sessions with Logic when they were doing strings and horns on his first album. Man, I got some crazy hip-hop stories, man. I tell you, like, that session, I'll never forget. Common, just the studio that they were at was like some big-name studio out there. And Common just pulled up in his car, man, like pulled up out the truck, walking like he was in a movie, just walked in. My homie, who's Logic's mentor, was just like speechless. We're like outside hitting a J and whatnot, and Common walks up, and he's just speechless. But I got to work with Logic, and I remember when he was going through that feud with Joyner Lucas and whatnot, that battle was like, it was very like a lot of beef, a lot of drama within that battle. I'm glad they kind of got to squash it. And I always felt like Joyner Lucas was kind of taking like the Eminem approach, like just looking like a 50 Cent approach, kind of, analyzing the game, and whoever's popular that he don't like, he gonna diss him. So he was dissing Logic and whatnot. But Joyner Lucas, man, high caliber MC, man. Like, that dude can really, really, really rap his ass off, man. And the wordplay and the delivery and the cadence that he comes with, man, Joyner Lucas is fire. And I think Joyner Lucas also has one of the best rap videos, like, of all time. I think it was called 100. They followed like the path of $100 bill. So it like came out the ATM machine, and then like it was like, somebody had a robbery, and then they took the money, and it just followed the money all the way throughout its course and its path of like going through all this drama. So I'm a big fan of Joyner Lucas. Always been very creative with the music videos, and I think that that's a thing that's like overlooked in the hip hop community. A lot of people just do these like generic videos where they just rapping in front of the camera with no concept. Or none of that, So I was pleased to see Joyner Lucas really becoming like a conceptual rapper, like not only with the lyrics but also with the with the visuals and whatnot. So I admire his work, man. Big fan of Joyner Lucas. I got to catch up on all my hip hop shit, man. Like, I've been out the loop lately, been so busy podcasting that like I haven't really listened to a bunch of albums I want to get to, man. I haven't even listened to that new Kendrick album. I want to get to that. A lot of people kind of hating on it, but I always want to have my own opinion on music and my own perspective on things. Like, people were hating on Donda a lot, and I thought Donda was fire, man. I thought that album was crazy, trying to push the envelope as well. So I got to do a lot of catching up. But as far as this Dable, man, we could have a hip-hop conversation. We got to do that. We really got to do that, because we could have a hip-hop conversation for like 5 hours. A lot of people showing Logic a lot of love in the chat, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Logic's from Gaithersburg. I grew up in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland, which is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Gaithersburg, maybe 20 minutes from Gaithersburg. And Logic's 2 twin brothers went to high school with me. His sister, Robin, went to high school with us. His pops is in the go-go community out here in the DMV, so I know his pops. I've chopped it up with him a bunch. On a Facebook chat, he would hit me up and ask me for advice and stuff. And I'm like, bro, Logic's your son. You got to holler at Logic, fam. Like, he's doing big things, man. So shout out to all of them. But Brian Dable, man, Coach of the Year. Yeah, it's definitely looking like that, man. And I just hope Brian Dable can have continued success, man. And it feels like we're on the up and up. I hope we can continue that, man. So Giants looking really great. That victory against the Ravens, man, that to me, that's a staple win of the season. That's like, okay, you was all right. You beat the Ravens now, you're a little bit above all right, man. People got to start talking about us as one of the, teams to really be keeping your eye out for, man, when it comes playoff time. We got an 85% chance now, so I'm looking forward to it, man. If the Giants could get in the playoffs, I'm going to be a happy brother over here, man, for sure, man. But let's get into this this last overreaction one time, and let's see where y'all stand on this one. All right, this one is a little bit more tricky. The Giants will not only make the playoffs, they'll win the division as well. Do y'all think this is an overreaction? If you think this is an overreaction, let me see them O's in the chat. And if you want to take the under and you agree with this statement on the screen, let me see them U's in the chat one time. And if you need a little bit more time, maybe you need towards the end of the year, let me see you take that push one time. Ooh, somebody said that Kendrick Lamar album is fire. That's what's up, Jamal. I appreciate that because a lot of people been hating on that. And Kendrick is definitely one of my favorite artists for sure, man. So what y'all, I'm seeing mixed reactions right off the bat. I see an I from Max Webster. I hope Max fixes that. I don't know what the I means. So let me see here. What we gonna rock for this one? We need like a chill vibe. We just need a little chill vibe for this. All right. So let me see what everybody talking right here. You know what I need? I need the graphics department to like come up with an on-spot tally of how many O's we get in the chat, how many U's we get in the chat, and how many P's we get in the chat. Okay, I see Max Webster fix that. I'm gonna start with him. Max Webster thinks that this is an overreaction. He's banking on them Eagles winning the division. I can already tell. Floyd Samuels thinks the exact same thing, along with Bells as well. Jamar Wilson in the building representing for them New York Giants, man. He's taking the under. He agrees with the statement on the screen that the Giants will not only make the playoffs, they'll win the division as well. Mr. Fitness taking that overreaction one time. I got to sit up a little bit. We've been rocking with y'all here for a minute. Shoulders kind of getting tight on me. But Mr. Fitness takes the O. He thinks this is an overreaction. I can understand that, and I respect that for sure, man. Anthony's taking the push on this one. Smart move, player. That's a smart move right there. Shout out to Tori Esters in the building one time. Welcome to the fam. I haven't seen Tori Esters in the chat at all yet, but welcome to the fam. Hope you hit that subscribe button, man. I hope the chat ain't being too brutal on you. I hope they treating you like a guest, served you up some nice drinks when you pulled up. Had you on the guest list at the front door and all that good stuff. But shout out to Tori one time for pulling up in the building. Tori's taking the O on this one, says it is an overreaction indeed. And Jay Jean agrees with Tori, saying that this is an overreaction. The Eagles is out here. Eagles is definitely out here. I definitely agree with you on that. The Giants are on the up and up, and they're only a game back. And don't forget, we get to play them Eagles twice. Cannot wait to see that. Cannot wait. Shout out X in the building one time. That's my nephew's name. Appreciate you pulling up, X. Welcome to the family. He's taking the under on this one, and it does agree that the Giants will not only make the playoffs, but they will win the division as well. Big Los is taking the little O one time, saying this is a little bit of an overreaction. I feel you on that because, you might need a little more time to see how this goes. If the Giants, can take advantage of this next 4-game stretch here, might be sitting at 8-1. Let me take a look one time as we're talking about this. I want to see who the Eagles play in their next 4 games in comparison to who the Giants play in their next 4 games. So the Eagles are going to be taking on, they just beat the Cowboys on Sunday night. They got to take on the Steelers, who surprised the Bucs, I believe that was, this past Sunday. So they're going to have the Steelers, the Texans, the Commanders, and the Colts. Ooh, that does not feel well for us. That looks like 4 winnable games for them. And then coming out of those 4 games, it gets a little bit more tough for the Eagles. They'll be taking on the Packers, the Titans, and them New York Giants. And then they'll finish out the year against the Bears, the Cowboys, Saints, and the New York Giants again. Eagles sound like they got an easier schedule than we have, to be honest, man. Can't even front on that. But I can understand why you're taking a little O. Shout out to Matt Cruz one time in the building. That's a new name. Welcome to the fam, my guy. Mac is taking a push one time, and y'all see I'm kind of losing my voice here a couple of times. We've been rapping, we've been screaming, all of that, yo. 2 hours in, definitely losing my voice a little bit here, but Mac is taking the push. I think that's a smart move. Mo is saying that this is an overreaction. Eagles are a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true, man. The Eagles are playing some good ball, and You know, where the Eagles kind of got us a little bit, edged in an advantage, I think, is their roster. Their roster, they've really got no weaknesses across the board on that entire roster, for real. So I do like what the Eagles are doing. I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. I do think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. A lot of people, thought Jalen Hurts was garbage. They still think Jalen Hurts garbage. I don't know what that's about. Jalen Hurts is definitely doing things. Let me see who else we got. Jukes is in the building one time. He's taking a push. The Eagles got an easy schedule like us. We just got to beat them, and we got it. It's going to come down to those 2 games. That's a good point you bring up there, Jukes. We got to take care of the Eagles in those matchups. We cannot come out with them slow starts in the first half like we've had in a bunch of these games so far. Got to go out there. And what's crazy about the New York Giants this year, I feel like they haven't played a complete game yet. And that's why, like, all the stuff about the coaching and the questions about coaching are so, like, a gray area for me, because what if we can get better at those things, like where we actually start games good and we get out to a lead? Like, when did the Giants start off with a lead in any of these games? Like, we've been struggling. We've been coming from behind in a lot of these games. So my whole question is, does it get worse from here, or are we on the up and up where to actually get better? I'm not too sure, to be honest, but Jukes is taking the push on this one. And Lucas says it's an overreaction, but it's possible. I feel you on that. It's definitely possible. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all right now. I'm taking the push. I need about 2 or 3 more games to see what the Eagles are gonna do, because, like, the Eagles are the same thing. Like, they start off in the first half really, really good. You saw it last night against the Dallas Cowboys. They get out to a 20-3 lead, and then, they allow teams to get back in the game. Now, that's the exact same way that the Ravens came into this game against the New York Giants. And we took care of business in that second half, and we beat them. So I think we can beat teams like the Eagles simply because of that. The Eagles have not played 4 quarters of fantastic football all year long. So I think they are beatable. It's going to come down to the Giants, the games against the Eagles. We're going to have to take care of business. I might try to swing my way up to Philly and go catch one of those games, too, and try to rep for the blue in the crowd. I know that they say Philadelphia fans are crazy, but I'm ready for all that smoke. You know what it is. Let me see. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets says, come on, fam. Why do you do this to us? I cannot give an answer. Positive vibes. I feel you, man. That's what the Giant overreaction is all about that. Giant overreaction is all about that. It's all about, like, making it where when we bring these topics up on the screen, the whole goal is to split the room, because I want to see people's reasonings, why they think the way they do, if they think indeed this is no reaction. Today, I will say it. The New York Giants can go out here and win this division. I even think the Dallas Cowboys still got a shot to win the division. Sitting at 4-2, getting Dak Prescott back, that's the number 1 offense dating back to 2021. If they could get their offense clicking, yeah, they could get back in the mix. But I feel you. It's supposed to be difficult for you, no Mets, no Nets. It's got to be like that. That's how. If it was easy, the last one was easy. I gave you an easy one. I gave you a layup with the Brian Dable coach one. Had to make it a little bit more difficult here and find them gems, those hidden gems one time for y'all. But shout out to no Mets, no Nets, no Jets in the building. Every podcast, he's here every show, man. I appreciate you pulling up, man. That means a whole lot to us. All right, so let me see what else we got. John B taking the push. Got to see more Philly games. I'm right there with you. Literally why I'm taking the push. I want to see more from Philly. I have a good gauge of what the New York Giants are and what we can be, especially if we get healthy, get guys like Kadarius Toney back in the lineup, and get Kenny Galladay out there, maybe, adding something to this offense when he is out there this go-round, coming back off the injury. We'll see, man. We've been banged up all year. We'll see how it goes, man. Jeff Maldo says it's an overreaction, that the Giants will not only make the playoffs, they'll win the division as well. He doesn't see us winning the division. He's got it being an overreaction. I'm not mad at that at all. Words got the push. Jamar's taking the under. Excuse me. James Ramon says we're going to get the wild card, though. Yeah, you might see 3 teams from the NFC East, man. The NFC has not been that great this year, NFC has just been pretty average. And Bookend says taking the P for playoffs. That's what's up. Shout out to Sean G1 in the building. What's going on, fam? Hope all is well with you, man. And he's taking the overreaction on this one. Oh, that Daniel Jones picture is fire right there on your profile picture, too. I like that. But Sean's taking the over. I feel you. I'm not mad at nobody taking the over today. That's what it is. Engraven Vids in the building, man. Engraven Vids is the #1 Ravens content creator out there. This dude has high-quality content, high-quality visuals, great takes, great analytics, statistics, all of that stuff, man. Make sure y'all go sub up to Engraven Vids. Engraven showed me a bunch of love in our first season here on YouTube with Awthentik and the Beard. He invited me over to his channel, and a lot of our subs came from going over there and rocking with him on his channel, man. So big salute to you, man. Me and him were having some conversations a few years back about like quality and cameras and lighting and all that stuff, man, because there's so much that goes into building a YouTube channel outside of what you speak upon, man. You know, and Engraven Vids takes pride in all of that, as well as we do over here at Awthentik and the Beard, man. Tough loss for your Ravens, man. I think y'all gonna get it together, though, man. Really just got to figure out the fourth quarter collapses. Y'all got to figure that out. Defensively, man, y'all pass defense has struggled all year long. And y'all got to just figure out a way to put the nail in the coffin and win games, man. So thank you for that game, though. You know, y'all gave us the opening, and the New York Giants took advantage, and we put that nail in the coffin, man, and sent them Ravens packing back up here to Maryland. I wish that game was here. I would have went to that game here if it was in Maryland. I would have definitely went and checked that out. But shout out to Engraven Vids, man, one time. And Sabrina's taking the push as well. Holding out hope. I like that. I definitely like that. And then Bell says, are we healthy in this scenario? Yeah, that's a major question mark, Bells. You know, I'm not too sure. I'm going to leave that up to you. You know, you got to use your best judgment to see if the Giants are going to be healthy. If they can remain as healthy as we have been, at least at the quarterback position, especially. I think that's the number one position. If the quarterback goes down, Giants are going to have some real trouble here, man. Moving the rock with just Saquon Barkley in that backfield for sure. Edward Squires in the building. What's going on, fam? Edward says, push until we can get healthy and play a few games together. Then we may know what we really have. Yeah, that's facts right there. And shout out to Matt Cruz one time. He says this podcast is flames, bro. Huge Giants fan. Philly has an easy schedule compared to us. Yeah, and we got a really easy schedule, and Philly's definitely got an easier schedule. I mean, they got some easy games towards the end of the year there with the Bears on there, man. That's going to be interesting, man. So we'll see. Hopefully, like, you know, just the Eagles come back down to earth a little bit, man. That offense has definitely been clicking. RPO, man, they're kicking teams' ass with the RPO for sure, man. But shout out to you, Matt Cruz, man. I'm glad you digging the vibes over here, man. And welcome to the family, man, the Awthentik and the Beard family. People in this chat, man, they all good people. Everybody's good peoples, man. And I know everybody's happy, man, with these Giants wins. It's feeling great, man, on this Monday afternoon. Victory Monday. I'm going into Victory Tuesday. I got to go make some runs here in a little bit, go get some prescription for my cat. And then I'm going to come back here, and it's all just digesting some more content and smoke some Ravens pack for the rest of the week, man. Y'all know what it is over here at Awthentik and the Beard, man. It's been a beautiful, beautiful start to the season. I'm super, super happy. Super happy about that. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, Axel Foley reminded me that it's from Beverly Hills Cop. Appreciate that. I'm going to have to go watch the second one because I did watch the first. Let me see what else we got. Jay Jean says it ain't done for Washington. It'll be hard, but they could snatch that 7th seed. Just saying. 4% chance after last week for teams that were 1-4. It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough for them. Definitely real tough. But I hope they're in the mix, man, because we do an annual tailgate here at FedEx Field for Giants versus Washington Commanders, and it just ain't the same when there's no stakes on the line for the game. So I'm hoping they can get back in the mix a little bit, and that game has, you know, it's a meaningful game. Shout out to El Gigante. You know, I date a Puerto Rican, and I always tell her, like, you know, I have this Spanish voice. Whenever I'm trying to, like, say something in Spanish, I say it in, like, the El Telemundo voice, and I got to say my man El Gigante in the same exact voice. He says, what up, familia? There are no names in the back of their jerseys, just Giants. That's why we are 5-1. Yeah, man, that's real. A lot of people do say that. You know, no names on the back of the jerseys, about the name on the helmet. I'm one who definitely supports all the players, too. I'm all about the names on the back of the jersey as well, because they make up what you see on that logo on these helmets and on these hats, man. So big salute to the team and the guys that are stepping up, that they're no-namers, you know, the guys like Marcus Johnson and the guys that are just stepping up out of nowhere, man, the Fabian Monroes that we've signed and, you know, just pulling them up out of nowhere, coming out here and bringing maximum effort, man, and contribution to this team, bro. We got to get in their props, man. That's so major for them. So I'm about the name on the helmet as well, and I'm about the name on the jerseys. But that 5-1, it is sweet. It is sweet, man. But big shout out to El Gigante one time. And golly, oh my God, Lucas, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy right here, bro. Big shout out to Lucas, man. Big shout out to Lucas. That is a major contribution to the channel, my guy. That is right. Mi corazón, man. That is crazy, bro. I don't even know what to say to that, Lucas. You've been definitely one of our #1 supporters, man. I'd say you and Tudo, man. You know, Lucas sent me a bunch of stuff last year around Christmas time. He sent me a signed Lawrence Taylor helmet. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That is so wild, bro. I don't even know what to say to that. Lucas has been a really good dude, man. Can't wait to get to meet you in person, Lucas, because these contributions you've been giving out to our channel have just been amazing. And damn, yeah, J. Jean said, damn, Lucas. Yeah, that's real. That is so real, man. Words can't express what that means to this channel, Lucas. Good God, man. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's a great way to end the show, man. Wow. Floored, Lucas. I'm floored, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that, bro. That means a lot to this channel, bro. That really means a lot to this channel, man. Big salute to Lucas, man. Big salute to Lucas, bro. That's big dog vibes right there. That's big dog vibes right there. Damn, Lucas. Phew, I can't even get my wits together to speak on that, bro. Damn. You a fool, Lucas. You a fool for that one, bro. My man, Lucas, man. Damn. This really just feel like a hangout session with y'all, man. I'm so grateful for y'all, bro. Each and every one of y'all in the chat, man. Still 100 of y'all in the building right now. That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy, man. That is just crazy, bro. Let's see some biceps in the chat one time for Lucas, y'all. Let's see them biceps in the chat for that man Lucas one time, man. Yeah, Jukes. Yeah, Jukes. Moment of silence, man. Moment of silence, man. Let's see them biceps for Lucas, man. Let's see them biceps, dog. That just made my damn day, bro. 5-1, and Lucas is out here dropping them bombs, man. Sheesh. Damn, that is wild, man. That is beyond football. That is beyond all of that. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy, bro. I'm glad we was on the last overreaction, bro, because I can't even speak after that, yo. I can't even speak on that. I ain't even read the super chat yet, bro. I ain't even read the super chat. He said, great job, guys. Awthentik and the Beard, the best channel on YouTube. I'll take the under on that all day, every day. Damn, bro. That is crazy, bro. That's like why we work so hard on this channel, bro. And me and the Beard, we the kind of dudes, right, that like, it's to prove ourselves. Everything we do is to prove ourselves, man. It's to prove ourselves wrong. Like, everybody has doubt, man. When we first started this channel, I'll never forget it when the Beard came up to me and he had a whole business plan like written up for the whole show and like the whole concept of what he wanted to do. And I laughed it off, man. I was like, what you think we are, man? You think we ESPN? Like, and I think the Beard was looking at me like, Awthentik, there's stuff that you can do that I think that you don't even think you can do yet. Because the optimism that the Beard had with like the kind of concepts and the segments that we were gonna be able to do, we would have needed a whole set to pull it off. Like literally, it was gonna be like breaking down plays, it was gonna be like breaking down takes, it was gonna be like talking about players, it was gonna be talking about highlights. It was like 10 segments, bro. So I was like, there's no way we could do that. I laughed it off, bro. And then like 5 months later, I revisited and I looked at it. I just went back to the email and looked at it. And I was like, how could we pull this off? And going live was not an option back then for me, bro. I was like shitting bricks. I was scared to go live. I was like, I don't want to make a major mistake live on air, So it was all pre-recorded. And I just put pen to paper and thought about How can we make this work? So I went to the beard and I said, look, man, if we make this work, we got to condense this completely down and completely revamp it. We had a couple of meetings. We brought in Scotty. Scotty hit me up and he said, I'll never forget this. Scotty said, Awthentik, because Scotty been one of my biggest supporters when it come to the music. He said, Awthentik, I've been waiting for this call for my whole entire life that I've known you, bro. And I was just like, damn. And we started that podcast just on a whim, man. They would come over here to my studio. We would record those shows. And the first season, for those of y'all that don't know about the first season, we filmed every episode from 3 camera angles in my studio. And I would have to edit them overnight and try to get them ready by the next day. And I swear to you, my girl will vouch for this. The sun would literally be coming up and I would be still editing those videos. Like 10 hours, 12 hours, because I wanted the production quality to be undeniable. I wanted people to, when you first get to the show, I wanted you to be like, whoa, these dudes is doing something different. And that first season, you know, with the background vibes of the channel and everything, we really didn't know how to approach it. So we just like got all the Giants, all the Commanders, Redskins gear, all the gear we could possibly get, and we just like thumbtacked it. Every show, we would literally thumbtack that shit to the back wall. And we shot it up against this wall right here. The work we were putting in, like this is why it goes unseen. Or why it doesn't go unseen, I'm sorry. Is because somebody like Lucas one day just pops up and just gives you this crazy generous donation. This is the second time that Lucas has made a donation like that. Like, y'all are fan, bro. Y'all are literally fan. And I'm speechless. I'm speechless, man. Like, y'all are fan. Y'all literally just like flashed my whole Awthentik in the Beard life right before my eyes right there. Like, it just took me back to the first episode. And I was just screaming, the hog mollies. You know, and people will be like, some people come to the channel and they be like, Awthentik, man, you just a regular fan or whatever, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I am just a fan of the New York Giants that wanted to talk about the New York Giants. So when I first got into this, it was more like the arguments that we would have over at Scotty's house. I was like, let's just put them on air. As you do a job, you learn more on the job and you get better at the job. And I think that this is just my personal opinion, that I'm miles ahead of where we were at in season 1. Like, you go back to season 1, I'm just like talking about my opinions, like what I thought players could do, and that's that really. And now it's like we're at a whole different place 3 years in on this, man. And Lucas, I can't thank you enough, man, because you just been like such a great supporter to this channel. Like, it makes me think like, and Lucas ain't just sending us like memorabilia, man. This dude like sent us a box with so many different things. Like, he sent me the program from the Super Bowl that was signed by Manningham. He sent me a box of chocolates, bro, like Australian chocolates that you just can't get over here. My girl loved those chocolates, the macadamian. Like, dog, it's really like a friendship that we're developing here with cats like Lucas, Nick the Wick, the day ones, Afghan, the people that just been supporting this channel, man. So like, yo, I'm not going to speak about it much longer, but I'm grateful, bro. I'm super grateful for y'all, man. Like, it's really like a love relationship with this chat, dog. Like, y'all really keep us going. And through all the L's that we had to bear last season and the year before that, like, now we starting to win, and it just feels damn good, man. So big shout out to Lucas. And David, yo, you hit it right on the button, man. We are gang, bro. Like, I will ride for y'all, and I don't even know y'all. I've never even met David in person. I be seeing him on Twitter. If he ever get into some dispute or something, I'm riding with you, bro. This is the gang right here, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. This a legendary show. I'm never gonna forget this show, man. This is like Giants sitting at 5-1, the biggest win of the year, man. And Lucas comes and just drops that bomb right there. Dropped a bomb. I see the Beard is backstage. I know I can't pull him up on the camera right now. He's got his webcam on. I don't know why he popped up backstage, but he's backstage. I know the Beard is just as grateful as I am, man. Wow, that is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous, man. Extremely ridiculous. That's a big win for the New York Giants, man. I'm just scrolling back, making sure I didn't miss nothing, man. Good God, that is a crazy, 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 crazy super chat. Wait a minute. Is there 2 of those? Oh, my God. Yo. A dog. A dog. Shout out to Lucas one time, man. Yo, the beard is backstage. If I could hit this thing 200 times like that right now, I would hit this 200 times right now. Damn, bro. Lucas literally just made our week, man. Yo, I got to go off that, Lucas. I got the beard rolled out now because he was about to probably pull that one up on the screen. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Lucas really wanted to see me lose my shit on this stream, didn't he? Yo, my big shout out to more biceps in the chat for Lucas, man. Y'all know what it is. Man, that is extremely, extremely major. That's major, bro. I can't thank you enough, big dog. I cannot thank you enough, big dog. That's big dog vibes right there from Lucas, man. I'm glad y'all was here for that, man. I'm glad y'all was here for that, man. What a show, man. What a show. Yo, Juke said he might drop a tear in a second. No lie, man. Y'all saw Kayvon Thibodeau after the game. That's how I'm feeling right now, dog. Yo, big shout out to the gang, man. Shout out to Lucas one time, man. Y'all know what it is, man. LFGNYG. Let's go, man. Let's go. That's major right there, man. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week, man. I know I'm definitely going to enjoy the rest of my week. Lucas definitely contributed to the rest of the week right there with that, man. We might go live again, man. I know we talked about having that hip-hop conversation. That needs to be done, man. Yo, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy, man. I'm grateful, man. I'm definitely grateful. I appreciate the whole gang being in the building today, man. Giants is up. Giants Nation is up. We up, man. We up. Let's go, man. I thought this helmet wasn't going to mean nothing like literally just about 10 weeks ago, man. We up, y'all. We up, man. I hope y'all enjoy this victory to the fullest, man, because I know I am. And look at Lucas, man. He enjoyed himself. Man, oh, man. Big shout out to you, Lucas, man. Big shout out to the gang one time. Okay, I'm seeing. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Crazy. Crazy day, man. Crazy day, man. Yes. Forever, Lucas. Gang. Gang. In the building. Before we get out of here, man, y'all showed them biceps for that man, Lucas, one time. We still got just about 90 in the building. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for 2.5 hours, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Y'all know what it is here over at Awthentik in the Beard, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Rest in peace to the podcast GOAT Combat Jack. Y'all know what it is, man. New York Giants, man. They for real, man. The New York Giants are definitely that real deal, man. We are the real deal. I cannot wait to chop it up with y'all some more this week. Make sure to pull up tomorrow, man. We're going to be doing a show at 7 p.m. recapping all the NFC East games. 3 wins in the NFC East. And don't forget, on Thursday, we're going to be doing a preview show for Week 7. New York Giants are on the up and up, man. It is crazy, man. It was a great day to be here with y'all and rock out with y'all today, man. I'm going to definitely enjoy the rest of this day. Again, thank you, Lucas, for those extremely generous donations, brother. We got to link up with you, man. I got to get a flight across the pond and come link with you, man. Definitely a real cool dude, man. And shout out to the gang. Y'all know what it is, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all. Monday, this victory week is going to be fantastic. Go smoke on that Ravens pack, y'all. Roll you a big one and smoke on that Ravens pack because the New York Giants is up. Y'all be good, man. Peace.